infrastructure is crumbling this evening as the NintenByte Podcast continues its unprecedented rise. In cities across the globe, fans are rioting. The Pentagon has issued a statement describing the NintenByte Podcast network as a pixel-based prophecy. Some say the rise was foretold, others say it's just a really good podcast. We're talking twisted nipples, milk, and a sock puppet who doesn't talk.
It's dangerous to go alone. Watch this.
Welcome to the NintenByte Podcast, bitch.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the greatest Nintendo podcast ever! Yeah!
Is that a Joy-Con in your pants, or are you just happy to see us?
Shut up! Now feel the power. Everyone, do you feel that?
Oh my god, I feel it!
I feel it too, Gamer. What is it?
It's the power of our podcast.
I feel it!
This is rad, NintenByte.
So rad.
Power. Now bask in their glory.
I'm Nintendo Brian. Oh, baby.
I'm Thunderstash.
I'm Gamebird Classic.
NintenByte rules.
Let's rock.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, cue the crickets. He's Louise. He's still talking.
Beautiful. Oh man. Well, welcome everyone to episode 43
Of the NintenByte Podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. So well, hey, we'll let Prime figure out what he's gonna figure out there. Let's jump right into introductions. Let's start with Hoops and Hip Hop.
Yo, what's up? I'm Hoops. I've been here before. Always happy to be back though, so thanks for having me.
Yep. Anything you're working on right now?
I have just been super busy with winds and waves stuff because that's my bread and butter is Pokemon. So super busy like weekend, and this week has been busy, and then there's Pokopia that's coming like tomorrow. So
yeah,
busy stuff, but it's been a fun time. So yeah, just lots of that.
Nice, man. Well, we'll get into more of that for sure during the podcast here, because there's definitely a lot of Pokemon stuff to discuss. Nishquick Pops.
Hey guys, how's it poppin'? It's me, Nishquick Pops. Glad to be on the podcast again. It's been a very long time since my last appearance. Also, really awesome to be chatting with Hoops and Hip Hop. Been watching your stuff since like pre-Sword and Shield. So
Wow.
hello, and awesome to be chatting with a fellow Pokemon fan. And
thank
yeah.
That's
Nice. And then, is there
cool.
anything you're working on right now?
Well, actually, late February was actually the 5-year anniversary of the Nishquick Pops channel. So I'm like kind of compiling a bunch of highlights together and kind of wanting to make like a 5-year anniversary highlight reel. So that's one thing. And then hopefully by the end of this month, a 1-year long Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition review is probably going to come out. And I have to make a small addendum to it because I was like, no Switch 2 edition yet, but that was written exactly a year back, or like almost a year back. But we might be talking about some of that today. My subtitle is sort of hinting at that.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. And then have you done any like collaborations lately for anything?
Oh yeah, thank you for reminding me. Yes, over on my channel to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Zelda, because Nintendo doesn't want to celebrate it. Me, Gamebird, Thunderstash Gaming, and some other Zelda fans have collaborated to talk about our favorite Zelda memories. And Stash and Gamebird here have some very awesome memories to share about the Zelda series. So definitely check that out. That was a very awesome video, and thank you guys for joining. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I will say, you know what? I watched the whole video at the gym, and I had like a smile on my face the whole time. There's some genuinely like really good, touching stories. It was very nostalgic to watch. So good job with that too, man. Great
Yeah,
job
thank
putting it
you.
together. Yeah.
It was hard for me to choose one singular memory, but that one Skyward Sword memory was the one I had to land on, because Zelda is Zelda. Yeah.
It's hard, man. I obviously, you know, I could have kept talking, but you know, you got to cut it off on the collabs, so you got to make it as tight as possible. Gamebird, what's going on with you, man?
Listen, it's another Wednesday. Super happy to be here, as always. Ready to talk some Pokemon, ready to talk some Nintendo, some gaming. Feel like the floodgates are starting to open. There's so much stuff coming up right now. We talked about at the beginning of the year, kind of our resolutions, our gaming resolutions, about the backlog, and I'm already feeling the pressure with the I can only imagine what you're feeling, Stash, with the reviews on top of it. But like, we're
the backlog
just
only
starting,
grows.
yeah, and we're just starting month 3, and I'm like, dude, there's so many games I can't keep up. But I've got Pokopia preloaded on the Switch too. You know, this is one that's going to be I don't think I would have normally jumped into, but you know, family reasons, and you know, to my pleasure, it's reviewed very, very well. But yeah, I'm doing good. Stoked to meet Nish finally. I know I've met Hoops on the previous episode a while back, but Nish, you know, we've chatted on the side for probably a couple of years now.
And I remember seeing you on many Andres Restart live streams all the way back, like 2020, 2021, during the pandemic days.
Sure.
So, yeah, during the Breath of the Wild 2 days.
Yeah.
Zelda 35th anniversary days. Wow, that was 5 years back. Can't believe it.
Insane. Yeah. But yeah, happy to be.
Nice. Eric, what's going on with you, man?
Oh, you know, same old, same old. It is Wednesday, and I love it.
Yeah. Okay. Very good.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Primal Rage. That mic working?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll go in the normal order now. So I'll tell you what I'm up to. And well, obviously, guys, hey, I don't know if you know, but NBA Jam, it's the anniversary today.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. 1993, of course, is when it came out. And so, of course, gotta rep NBA Jam. And yes, outside of that, super busy. Literally, I think I logged in at 6:59, which is Mountain Standard Time, 1 minute until podcast, because I was recording my review for Requiem. And man, it's just, it's action packed. Lots of embargoes. It actually feels busier than February, which is hard to believe. So that's what I'm up to, man. Prime, what's going on with you?
You know, I got a lot going on in general. I am completely done with Age of Imprisonment, so happy to put that one on the notch on the belt and put it behind me. Kind of an emotional time because I beat it, and then I did a bunch of side quests, and then I went and rampaged through it again, just the story, so I could, you know, just hit that ending one more time. Because, you know, the Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom era is my favorite era of Zelda ever. So this is like putting a bow on it. I know we're not coming back to it. I know there could be some DLC at some point for the game. I have no idea, but we're basically done with this era of Zelda. And I know some people are like, are you sure they're not just going to milk more of it? I'm like, we're like 99.9% sure, because they literally said after Tears of the Kingdom, they're done. They're moving on to something else. They're not coming back to this world. They're not coming back to this Link and Zelda. Age of Imprisonment was like that one-off because that's the partnership they do with Koei Tecmo now. So you can kind of just expect the next 3D Zelda will probably have a Hyrule Warriors to go along with it. They've kind of created that expectation now. So that said, it was a little couple tears coming to the eye as this era gets put behind me because I loved it so much. It is time to move on. I'm not like asking for more. It is definitely time to move on from this era, but I just had so much fun. It was my favorite Zelda era ever. The Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom are my 2 favorite games of all time. Maybe you want to put it as one game. I really don't care how you want to put it. I love them. So saying goodbye to that era was a big deal to me this week. And then I technically turned it on, but haven't actually done anything yet. Got Resident Evil 9 loaded up on the Switch 2, ready to go. That's my next game I'm diving into.
Good.
Thank God it's like a 10 to 12 hour experience. So shouldn't have to be playing it for super long. Should be able to beat it here in the next week or two, but really excited for it. I've heard a lot of good things about that Switch 2 version. You see an Andres Restarts video on it and him like having friends over the night that he had it and they were playing in dock mode and his friends thought it was the PS5 version the time. Pretty wild.
It's very impressive.
They couldn't tell that it wasn't the PS5 version. And I'm not saying, guys, it looks as good as like a PS5 or PS5 Pro version or runs as well. It just looks good enough. I've said this the whole time. All Switch 2 had to do was look good enough. And most people aren't going to care. And that was like Exhibit A. His friends thought they were playing the PS5 version when they weren't. Then they were handed the controller and like, oh, this isn't the PS5 controller. What the hell? Yeah, we've been playing on the Switch 2 the whole time. Like, did you know the Switch 2 could play games this well? Yeah, you didn't. So, really excited for that. I'm probably going to primarily play it in handheld in my room at night, the lights off, because that just feels like the best way to play a horror game.
You got to play it at night. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So,
this one,
the projector, a couple nights.
This one starts off pretty creepy.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Compared to Village.
Yeah.
It's creepy and it escalates quickly.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Obviously, I just recorded my review and it is spoiler free.
Sweet.
It's hard to not talk about it though. Sometimes it's really hard because you want to talk about some of these things, so you have to be purposely vague. But yeah, dude, you guys you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
Yeah. Dude, when does your review drop, Stash?
Tomorrow.
Looking forward to that. Cool.
Thanks, man.
Okay. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, obviously, with the rest of content. Went and pissed off the internet today. That was a fun one. The internet loves when I troll them. No, they're not. No, they hate it. I do this every once in a while so like you guys know, I don't know if you guys have seen like the Super Mario Titans fake leak out there. It's totally fabricated AI bullshit. Well, I keep getting sent to me like 30 times a day for the last week. So I was like, people keep sending it to me. People keep swearing it's not AI. It obviously is. And I'm like, all right, fine. What are we going to do with this? Because this needs to stop. By the way, no one's sending me links anymore since I put the video up. So mission accomplished. I'm like, you know what? Let's do something I don't do. Let's do an all caps title. Let's do an obviously fake thumbnail. Let's put an emoji in the title. And then let's act like it's really exciting for like 20 seconds and then tell everyone, no, it's fake bullshit. Let's talk about why people are believing AI shit and actually how dangerous this is for people like me who cover rumors and leaks and people who get really hyped about them, as AI is going to continue to get better and better and better and fool more and more people. Because like this, we're going to be dealing with this entire generation.
Yeah, it already happened with Xenoblade leaks. There was the voice actor leak, and then the day after, there was like a supposedly AI-generated leak of what the main characters of Xenoblade 4 would look like. And everyone's like, this is most likely 99% not true.
Yeah, I didn't even really cover that one. It's just like...
It's it's not
ridiculous.
Like
the people get like mad at the video, and I'm like, get mad. That's the entire point. You're clicking on something that is so obviously fake. This is the problem. Like, this is literally the problem, because there are people making content and posting this, acting like it's real, and people are believing it. Like,
it happened with Pokemon literally the day before with the logos too. I think.
Yeah,
the Winds and Waves logos were AI generated.
Even though the guy literally admitted, hey, this is literally when he made it. He's like, yeah, I just generated this. These are real logos. People still believed it and spread it all over. Dude, so I'm like trying to. It was to make a point, and I understand for a channel like mine where I usually don't do that to make a point. I'm like, yeah, but the point is, people keep believing this fake shit. Stop it. Like, let's have fun with this, and then let's actually get serious and talk about how serious we need to be about this moving forward, because yes, there's one thing to have like fake rumors and leaks. It happens all the time, right? Hey, the YouTube app didn't launch last month, and that came from literally a YouTube employee who said it out loud, and it didn't happen. So, like, yes, rumors and stuff, they're meant to be doubted, but like this Mario thing was so obvious, and yet people were so quick to believe it, and it's like, man, like this is wild because this isn't even a good one. At least the Grinch leak back in the day was inventive. This was just like blatantly AI. I just don't even know how anyone believed it.
The Grinch leak was fun. I missed those
At least the
days.
Grinch leak was fun. It was complex. It had a lot of thought put behind it, and I'm like, dude, this is in the end, like we all got fooled, but also at least it was fun.
Yeah,
that was a fun one.
There was a lot of reason to believe it too, from what I remember.
Yeah, there's a lot of outside like reasons that are like, hey, and like the person who did it admitted, like, yeah, I knew about all that, so I played off all those reasons, which just made it more believable. And it's like, dude, that was wild. For anyone who doesn't know about the Grinch leak, just literally type in Nintendo Grinch leak. There's a whole like pages that have like documented the whole thing and how the whole internet got fooled.
That was chaos.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. We should probably get into the topic roulette, picking our topics here. Let's I don't know. Let's go with how about Thunderstash goes first? He always like goes last.
Thank you. I'm glad you noticed that.
Yeah. Well, technically I usually go last, but
I'll do the indie world. We're gonna talk about what happened, our thoughts on those games, so that should be fun.
Okay. Let's go to Eric.
Jeepers. Right? Frog died in my throat, apparently. I'll take Mario Day.
Mario Day. There we go. Birdman.
I guess I'll take Pokemon Winds and Waves.
That leaves me with the dealer's choice. We also have a small little bonus topic. Because we got to let Nishquick Pops go pop off on Xenoblade. It just needs to happen. There's a lot of
I was very happy to see that on the agenda. I was like, these guys know me very well.
I know you very well. And I'm like, man, he's going to want to talk about this. It's been a controversy, around the update.
It has been interesting, to say the least.
So you know what? Let's just go to that quick bonus topic now and just let Nishquick Pops go off. So for those who don't know, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 had a Switch 2 edition come out, got a big update. Upgrading all the supposedly 4K everything and 60 FPS, which is actually I think the bigger part of the update. But the internet wasn't happy because it apparently is a low quality update. Now I haven't played it, so I don't know. So Nishquick, you are our resident Xenoblade expert here tonight.
First of all, I wish it was Xenoblade 2, but it's Xenoblade X. But Xenoblade X finally got a Switch 2 edition. It was in the code for like a year now, and everyone's like, "Oh, when's this coming? When's this coming?" I don't know if it was ready because it is kind of like it's a kind of messy upgrade. This is truly how I feel, and I'm being very honest. And I said this in my video. I am not good at judging graphics and textures and things like that at all. Like people sent me like DMs and they're like, hey, like, look at this. It looks so weird. I don't like how this looks, or like, look how much of a like downscale this is, or like a bad upgrade to the Switch 2. And I was like, guys, can you like tell me where in the screenshot the issue is? And then they had to like actually like pinpoint where the issue was. And I was like, okay, that's kind of like wonky. It's kind of messy there. It is mostly a graphical thing in handheld mode, because outside we have a 4K TV and I played it on there and I was flying and doing the Cresvel cruise mode. If you guys have played the game, you can go into like this cockpit cruise mode. It's kind of like Star Fox. So I was doing that across the whole entire map and it looked really good to me. And I could tell that things looked generally better, but I wasn't like minutely like zooming in and seeing like precise details. But I will say this, I don't deny that this is that there are issues with this. The 60 FPS feels very good. And I remember when I was like playing for the first time, I just like tilted the right stick and my camera just like flung around like crazy. And I was like, this does not feel like your usual Xenoblade experience. It felt very, very weird in the best way possible. But a lot of people are saying, like, I don't deny that this could have been much better. And of course, there are definitely issues with this. I just personally am not like they're not like right in my face. If people didn't tell me about this online, I probably may or may not have really noticed them. But this makes me and a lot of other people think, did Monolith Soft work on these? Because the question or the kind of thing that people are thinking about is like, this isn't really indicative of Monolith Soft's talent or their development prowess and their track record of like really well optimized visuals and performance and all that. Of course, like Xenoblade 2 had a lot of issues on launch, but this is not something people expected for Monolith Soft's first kind of thing we see them do on the Switch 2. And another thing is, Monolith Soft's Twitter always retweets projects that they've worked on and always promotes the things that they've done and at least tweets about it, maybe sometimes even just like a retweet if they want to say like, hey, we did Mario Kart World or we worked on this game. They haven't really said anything about the Switch 2 edition of Xenoblade XDE. So people are wondering, did Monolith Soft even work on this? And if they didn't, was it like, you guys probably know this, but did Panic Button do all of the Switch 2 editions? Because I know they did some of the Switch 2 free upgrades, but like, for example, like Game Freak, did they do Scarlet and Violet? So I'm wondering if Monolith Soft even like didn't even touch this, because if so, that might explain some things, but that also makes me curious and hopeful, and also maybe a little bit worried about what's happening for the rest of the series, because the rest of the series are like, I think Xenoblade X is incredibly important. Like if you guys are Xenoblade fans and if you haven't played X, play X. I can't really like say exactly why, but just play it. But 1, 2, and 3 are the story. Those are like the Klaus Saga games. So I hope whenever those get the Switch 2 edition or upgrade, that those are done in the right way and they're done pristinely and properly and just optimized very well. So, and hopefully this gets a patch and it's fixed as well. So we'll see about that. But also like $5, like people are saying, oh, it's $5 or whatever. I think that's fine for 60 FPS Xenoblade. I'm totally fine with that. And I think Animal Crossing also had the very minimum $5 upgrade. So they're just like, hey, if we want to re-release this again as a physical, we're just going to price it at the minimum, which I'm fine with. But that's what I think about Xenoblade XDE Switch 2 Edition. My spiel. Yeah. Have any of you guys played it?
I played it on, what was it? Wii U.
Wii U.
Okay.
I have it. I bought it last year, and I bought it right when it came out. And I told everyone on the podcast that I'm waiting to play it on Switch, to play the Switch 2 edition at 60 FPS. And, you know, obviously that happened. Here we are. However, I don't have the time right now. I have way too many embargoes.
Yeah.
I'd love to play it right now. I just, you know, it missed the window.
And maybe if you wait out a little bit longer, hopefully there might be a patch. So we'll see about that.
There probably will be. It seems like, based on the feedback again.
Yeah,
sure. I've also seen on social media, like you, that stuff. You know, I'm not looking for bad things in life. You know what I mean? I'm not looking to catch people doing something wrong. Yeah, I'm trying to catch them doing something right, pick out the positive. And I do find a lot of people getting pretty upset about things that to me are, you know, they're minor grievances.
Mm-hmm.
Does it affect the gameplay? Does it affect the gameplay? Does it hinder the combat?
I personally don't think so, but I think a lot of people are saying that when you like zoom in to like whatever, like, because you can zoom in the game, and like naturally the game is pretty zoomed in, so they're like, oh, this rock texture doesn't look good, or this like bush texture doesn't look very good.
What I've seen,
but I like I never really noticed that much either. So yeah, to me, it doesn't affect the gameplay or the combat or the general experience for that matter. I need to go back and see some of the cutscenes. Like what I'm going to do eventually, maybe once I have some more time over the weekend or something, I might do a stream of the epilogue, chapter 13. So you guys should definitely stay tuned for that. But at the same time, during that stream, I will keep a lookout for anything that I can notice, because if I'm playing on my monitor here, it'll be a lot more noticeable if I can notice something. But like I said, I don't deny, and I'm not denying that these are issues, and it could be better, because there are some people who are like, oh, there's no problem whatsoever. There's no problem at all. So yeah, I like agree that there is something there, but to me, it doesn't ruin it. And like, I think chapter 13 will be like the litmus test for that, because not to spoil anything, but you go into some very cool areas and you can see some very cool effects and stuff. And there's a lot of cutscenes in chapter 13. And to everyone in the chat, if you like Xenoblade and you haven't played chapter 13, then you're like, I don't know what you're waiting for. Like, I can't like say more, but like, I just, people are like ignoring chapter 13 and like just do it. I can't say anymore. I just can't. But like, yeah.
You know what this reminds me of, Nish, is the windows in Pokemon. Again, can it be better?
Oh yeah.
Sure. Can the graphics be better? Sure. Nobody's denying that. We all know this. Okay. You don't have to bust out a magnifying glass to see this stuff. We all know this, okay? But the question is it going to affect the gameplay? Is it going to change my day to day? If it's not, why are we talking about it? That's how I feel about the Xenoblade stuff. Yes. Yeah. I understand if you zoom in on this rock randomly during gameplay, if you choose to do that, and you're saying it doesn't look good, I'll agree that, yeah, it doesn't look good. But I'll also say, why would I do that? Why?
Another thing,
this is unnatural.
Yeah. Another thing which is kind of upsetting, I forgot if I mentioned this, but a lot of these issues are experienced mostly in handheld mode. And I flew around a little bit in handheld mode, and it looked like a normal Xenoblade handheld experience to me. But that is another like silver lining. If you're mostly playing this on docked, you probably won't see a lot of this. So that's good, at least.
Yeah.
And especially when you're flying in your Skell, it feels so good to be in 60 FPS. So that in itself is worth it.
And that's why I think too. That's why literally I wanted to hold off, and nothing else could have been done for me last year when it was announced. Like nothing else could have been done. I just wanted that 60 FPS. So
it just released at a very tough time. It released right before the Switch 2 Direct. And then everyone was hoping that 60 FPS toggle that you see in the code means the upgrade was going to come very soon. Like I was hoping to see it in the Switch 2 Direct, but I think they waited a little too long, because I made a video like last August or June or July. I was like, Nintendo has killed the hype for Xenoblade X or something like that, because like the hype just declined. People weren't talking about it. People weren't playing the epilogue. And I'm like, guys, the Nintendo, you didn't treat this game right.
I feel like if this update had just been a free Switch 2 upgrade, the story would have been the discourse would have been a lot different. I don't think people would be really
I agree with that
about
too.
it. I think that because we have games that have Switch 2 upgrades that are like $1.99. I know Fantasy Life is one of them, and it runs fantastic. I think unless you're doing something really special, going above and beyond with it, I think that the $5 to $10 is going to feel steep, and people are just going to nitpick every flaw they can see because they spent $5 or $10 for a Switch 2 upgrade. So I feel like this one should have been one that's probably free, but I'm in the same boat as Stash. I've been waiting. So I got this game originally on Wii U day one when it came out. I only sunk maybe 10 hours into it. For whatever reason, I was probably busy at the time. I just didn't get around to finishing it. So was super thrilled to see it come to Switch 1. And like Stash said, we talked about on the podcast, waiting for that Switch 2 edition. It's finally here. I look forward to getting around to this game.
Is this your first Xenoblade game, Gamebird?
No, it's not.
Right.
I've played, so I need to play 3.
Okay.
And I need to play X.
Okay,
but,
so you played 1 and 2.
I played 1 on the Wii, 3DS, and Switch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You're arguably more of a Xenoblade. You're probably more of a Xenoblade 1 fan than I am.
I didn't finish it on 3. I've just played it on all 3. I remember being so excited back in the Wii day, because I love JRPGs. It's a huge part of my gaming history. One of, if not my favorite genres in the industry. So you guys all know, like, RPGs on the Wii, like turn-based RPGs, weren't a dime a dozen.
That era just sucked. So, PS3. Yeah.
So seeing like The Last Story and Xenoblade Chronicles coming to the console was huge for me. But yeah, I really look forward to playing this one. I know. I think one of the things that had me the most apprehensive on this one at the get-go is, from what I understand, this one is the most light on story, which is big for me with RPGs. But it sounds like that chapter 13, I don't know if it's insane gameplay or if you're talking about the writing and the story.
So it is very divisive. I won't give details because many people still haven't played it yet, but I really thoroughly enjoyed it. As a fan of Xenoblade 1, 2, and 3 and Xenogears, I loved it because there's a lot of X is a very messy game story-wise because it was the writing was rushed. There was a lot of drafts that needed to they went through a lot of different story drafts of the game. So it wasn't really truly the vision that Takahashi wanted in terms of story and narrative, because like people like higher up in Nintendo were like, oh, let's add in online, let's add in this, let's make it like this, which made the game fun, but the story was kind of like not as much of a focus. But I like to compare it to something like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, where the story is there, but it's more of like a lore game. You have to go out of your way to find the story and the lore and the history of this planet and the Blade organization and the people and the characters, and the side quests are very, very, very good for that. So in that way, it's sort of like your Western style RPG narrative in that way.
So a little bit like the Souls games, the Dark Souls games, because those games are very, I mean, they've got their really cool or twisted cinematics throughout the experience with the bosses and the little moments. But that game is really, the story's phenomenal in those games, but you really get it from the items and the weapons and the lore.
Yeah.
And I know Breath of the Wild does that, but I don't find like Zelda's my favorite series of all time. I just don't find the lore that they created in that one as enticing as at least the Souls games. How is it in this? If it's like that, is the background lore super interesting?
I personally think that this has more involved storytelling than a Dark Souls or From Software or Elden Ring. I actually am one of the people who actually is not a big fan of the From Software story approach, because I'm not going to go into my inventory and read all the item descriptions, and sometimes the side quests are just kind of like way too obtuse and I won't do them. But the side quests in Xenoblade X are very involved. They'll give you an idea of what's happening around the world and the planet, the history of what happened before they moved to this planet. The character side quests are very, very good. So a lot of people are disappointed that there isn't as much character development in this game versus Xenoblade 1, 2, and 3. And a lot of that character development happens in the character side quest, so that's good. Lore-wise, everything is kind of... I will say, when people beat Chapter 12 in the base game, we had like so many questions about everything. And a lot of that, for me, was answered with Chapter 13, thankfully. So that's just what
Nish, I got a couple more questions for you, and then whoever else wants to jump in.
Okay.
For anyone out there who hasn't played a Xenoblade game yet, would you recommend the Switch 2 edition of Chronicles X as a great jumping on point, or would you encourage them to play Xenoblade Chronicles 1, the Switch version?
So I think X is a good starting point. People will say no because it's so different from the others, but I like to look at this in a more optimistic way because X has a lot of similarities to the numbered games, and since it's the newest game, since it's the first one to have a Switch 2 edition, if everything looks good to you in X, then jump into that. Because in terms of difficulty and gameplay wise, if you can handle anything in Xenoblade X, you can handle anything in the series. Trust me.
Sure.
In terms of difficulty, complexity. So in that way, it's a good way to dip your toes into like maybe I wouldn't even call it hard, but the most complex of the Xenoblade games. And otherwise, Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade 2 are very good places to start. I say you can start at any singular Xenoblade game, even Xenoblade 3. But with Xenoblade, it is better to start with 1, 2, or maybe X as your first one. Because with 3, it helps to have context of some of the others. But the main rule of thumb is do not start at any of the epilogue, side stories, or DLCs, because they won't make sense. Yeah.
Sure. All right, last question for you. Where the heck is Xenogears and Xenosaga? When are we getting those on Switch 2?
Xenogears isn't happening. I firmly, unfortunately, I have put my hopes and dreams to rest. Unfortunately, and I've been ranting about Xenoblade X. I have so much to say about Xenogears, and I will boil it down to this. Takahashi and his wife want to move on from Xenogears. They have wanted to move on from Xenogears for the past 27 years now. And if Xenogears happens without them, I don't want it. I don't want Xenogears without them. That's like pretty much a hard no. No one is going to touch Xenogears without them. And if they don't want to do it, then I'm okay with what we have, because Xenogears has really good fan mods that fix a lot of the messiness of the game. And if you guys want to play that is the definitive way to play Xenogears, and it is truly... I am a story guy. And I think that is one of the greatest gaming experiences I've ever had in my entire life. It is a top 3 favorite video game for me. And it's still like a dingy old PS1 game it's not even finished. The second half of the game is just not even finished. But that's how ultimately top of the line it is. Xenosaga hopefully will come soon. I am not convinced as much as other people that Xenosaga is coming, and I will just say I'm not as convinced about Xenosaga's involvement in the future of the Xeno series. That's all I'll say. But I think we will have definitive answers hopefully this year. I've said, we'll have an answer last year or the year before. Every time, like after Xenoblade 3 came out, I was like, we'll see. But I think this is like the year, because we don't have a new definitive edition coming out unless Xenoblade 2 DE happens or something. But this is, if Xenosaga isn't announced this year, then I'm kind of like, I'm not getting my hopes up anymore. Xenogears, it's not. No,
I will lose it if we get a Xenosaga trilogy remaster released, or even the 3 games individually remastered. I'll lose it. I loved those games growing up. I just remember, like, I remember having such fun. I have such fond memories of booting up the first game.
Yeah.
And like, oh wow, each cinematic is like 40 minutes long.
Oh yeah.
I love this. And it's one of the rarest settings in RPGs. That game is sci-fi through and through. Like, even with like the Xenoblade games, they're a mix, they're hybrid, they're sci-fi, but they're also fantasy. Xenosaga's sci-fi through and through. So it would be really cool to see those make a return. Xenogears, it's unfortunately one of the blind spots in my gaming catalog. I've never played that game. And I've always been like, man, if I just had the chance to play this, I bet I would love it so much. I want to be in on the conversation. So I know we talked about this once before behind the scenes, probably a few years ago, about this, but I'm gonna have to talk to you about playing this one because it's one that I definitely need to knock off my bucket list.
It is the singular greatest video game story I've ever experienced in any video game. And I genuinely had a fun time with it, even with the messy combat and the gameplay. If they want to do something with it, just give us like a port on the PSN store on PlayStation Plus or something. That'll be good enough. But doing a full remake, rewriting the game, expanding on it, I don't want anyone other than Takashi and his wife touching that, and they don't want to go back to it. So that's fine. That's fine with me. I want new Xeno stuff. I want Xenoblade 4. Yes.
Or Xenobird. I heard that.
Yes.
What they might call the next one. I don't know. That's just what I heard.
I heard that too. Is this guy muted again? Is this a mutiny again? Come on, man.
He's still out.
Dude, it's amateur hour.
Oh my god.
This is so embarrassing.
I know. Seriously. Look at this guy. He's still talking like we can hear him.
He's defeated.
He's defeated because he's wearing that Bucks hoodie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can't say anything to me about it.
Yeah. Just lay on him while he can't say anything.
He's speechless.
He's gone. Oh, real quick, I just wanted to say, I just saw the chat, and one of my friends, Spida, she says that, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom would not be the games that they are without Xenoblade X, and that is true. Monolith Soft's involvement in Xenoblade X helped them make the worlds of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom as expansive as they are, and Xenoblade X is the first modern open world Nintendo game. So if you guys are fans of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom just for the open world aspect, then Xenoblade X is worth checking out.
It's a really good point. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah.
Can you
is
hear
that
me
a
now?
normal comparison? Because I haven't heard that before. Yeah, I heard you.
A lot of Xenoblade fans bring that up, and a lot of people who have played the game can kind of find some similarities to it. It's not one-to-one, because you know how Breath of the Wild has that kind of discovery aspect to it?
Yeah.
Xenoblade X sort of has that too, where you're going and finding probes and treasure, and then you might find like this crazy monster in the middle of nowhere in like this really weird spot, and then that spot will take you to some like really crazy hidden area. I also like to compare it to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, because that had a very big open world, and that had like a little less points of interest to do, but it sort of felt like that as well. So if you like games like that, then Xenoblade X is fun, but it was a very early version of that, so there are some kind of hitches which have been advanced in more modern releases.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
No, it makes a lot of sense. I like that.
All right. Now that I can talk. I was gonna say we should go to the Pokemon topic, but then I think that's Game Birds, right?
Yeah, he's gone.
It's like, he literally vanished. Like what is happening here? So
This is amateur hour, and then I was muted on the
yeah. Nah, I just tell you guys what's going on with the mic. I did before the show started. We were having problems.
Yeah.
I think I fixed it. I think it's a cable issue. So I swapped the cable, but then when I swapped it, it wanted me to reload back in. But whatever. I think it's good now, but it might not be good. I'm getting all new audio equipment, but it's going to be a few months because the product I want to replace this is not released yet. So I'm going to be getting that Wave XLR Pro up in here.
Product.
What matters right now? What matters right now is Birdman is back, because we got to talk about Winds and Waves. Because
All right.
I don't know if Hoops is going to be here like 5 hours from now. So,
all right. Pokemon Winds and Waves, my friends. While Pokopia is rightfully getting a lot of attention, it launches tomorrow, technically today in some territories, and is tied for the highest reviewed Pokemon game, be it a spin-off or mainline ever. Impressions on such a game may or may not happen last week. After I or some of our guests get some time with it, Today, we want to focus on instead is the next generation of Pokemon, the Switch 2 exclusive announced on Pokemon Day. And that, my friends, is Pokemon Winds and Waves. So, my question for the panel today is, what do we think about the game? What worries us? And what excites us? And I'm going to add one more that's not here. What are we hoping for out of this based on what we've seen so far? So let's start with our Pokemon man of the hour, Hoops. What are we thinking, man?
Well, in general, I'm just really excited for it. It's definitely a big just leap graphically from anything we've seen with Pokemon before. It's been awesome to see as someone who covers Pokemon just like super, just like all the time. I'm super in depth with it. It's just really refreshing to have a game come out and generally have the reception be really positive and exciting versus like controversial or like negative, because that's kind of plagued Pokemon recently. So I'm just like excited about pretty much everything that we're seeing. I think the biggest thing is definitely the graphical jump, because it just like, I know it's not like the greatest graphics of any video game, but it's like you show this to anyone, like gamer or not, and I feel like they're gonna say, oh yeah, that looks good. And I feel like that combined with like the setting and the premise, which is like there's like a lot of water travel. It looks like there's going to be diving underwater. And then you've got the fact that this is like an open world game, and it's also not the first open world game that Game Freak is making, because like Scarlet and Violet was the first one, and I think for them anyway, and I think it's a big deal that like they got that out of the way, they got that like under their belt, and now this is like the next iteration where they can improve even more on that, because Pokemon games, a lot of times they're always iterative in that way, where they start like super baseline and then they get to this point where it's like much more refined and polished, and it's like, okay, this was the vision of what you had in this game like however many games ago. And I feel like this is what that is for like basically all the visions that they've had for what they want to do on the Switch or on a home console Pokemon game. This feels like what that is. And I feel like it's like, just based on this first trailer, obviously we need to see more stuff, but just based on this first trailer, it feels like they are realizing that vision, which is super exciting. So lots of positivity.
Okay. You're muted, Gamebird.
Oh, how the tables have turned. I was gonna say, do you have any specific hopes for it? Anything that we haven't seen in previous gens, or something that you've just been itching to see come to a mainline Pokemon game, or a specific change or feature?
Well, as I said to you right before we started, I feel like I'm really easy to please, as long as it's like fun, I'm like, okay, yes. But one thing that I can think of that I would really like to see, actually, it's kind of like a couple things technically, but there are some specific things that I would really love them to officially like graduate from the Legends series into the main series. One of them being like the catching mechanic and just being able to throw and catch a Pokemon and not have to go in and out of battle and do that whole sequence. And then the other thing is I really, really liked in Legends Arceus how they did the riding Pokemon mechanic, where you had several Pokemon you rode around on and you could like freely switch between them, and you use them to either cross the water or climb up a mountain or whatever. That was there to an extent with Scarlet and Violet, but it was like one Pokemon you could do it with. I would really love to see that brought back in the Legends Arceus way, where it's like there's multiple Pokemon you can do this with. But I think it would be really cool if they sort of fleshed it out a little more to where it was like you could do it with the Pokemon in your party versus like a specific set of Pokemon that are set aside for this purpose. And that was sort of like in Legends ZA, not with riding Pokemon, but in Legends ZA, there's like these obstacles throughout the world. Like there'll be like a big rock in the way or something like that. And you can use your Pokemon to get rid of those things. And it doesn't have to be a specific Pokemon or a specific move that you use. It's just like, if you have a fighting type Pokemon, use a fighting type move on that rock and it's out of the way. And that to me felt really fun because it was like I was using my Pokemon to like actually adventure versus just battle. And I think if they do that stuff with like traversal, it could be really fun. And obviously like the setting looks perfect for that. So that's something I would love.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I think that's a great point. It's actually one of the things I didn't like very much about Scarlet and Violet. You start with a legendary, and it's kind of a Swiss Army knife, like travel Pokemon, you know? I like more of that style that you got with Legends Arceus, where as you're going on your journey, you're getting these new Pokemon that give you new travel abilities and ways that you can interact with the world. And I don't know. It was a little bit more exciting that way. But let's go on over to Nish. What are you thinking, Mano? What did you think of this trailer? What are your thoughts on it? Your worries, your excitement level, and what are you hoping to see in this game that we don't know about?
I was pleasantly surprised with how it looks. I was one person who was very I was anticipating Scarlet and Violet during the lead up to the launch. And then I was like, I'm going to wait for reviews and I'm going to wait for what people actually think of the game before actually buying it. And I saw everything and I was like, no, I'm not going to buy this. I'm not going to support this. I don't want this. And I was waiting to see if they're going to patch it. No patch. The only thing that happened was they just like kind of removed some Pokemon from the overworld. And I finally borrowed it from my friend and played it on my Switch too. And in terms of... technical qualities, there are still some issues that I noticed. But my main thing is I've been craving a truly next generation Pokemon experience. And I think the closest that I've gotten to feeling that in terms of like a gameplay experience was Legends Arceus, where it felt like a true like new style of Pokemon game. And I know that they can't stray away from the general formula too much in terms of the mainline games, but I kind of like Hoops was saying, kind of combine some of the gameplay we see in Legends with the mainline games. The main thing I want to see is I want the catching and the battling to be as seamless as they are in the Legends game. So you can like crouch, throw a Pokeball, and easily catch a Pokemon like that. You don't have to even like get into a battle. That was something I loved about Legends. It felt so natural and it felt so realistic in a way. Of course, like Pokemon's not realistic, but it felt so just natural to like if there's a weak Pokemon, you just like throw the Pokeball, you easily catch it. And the catching mechanics in Legends was very good because it was a more catching focused game. But with a game like Scarlet and Violet or now Winds and Waves, kind of combining the catching and the battling aspect of it together and making it so that the battles are more seamless, more maybe a little more interactive in some way. What else? I think the biggest thing is for me in terms of like if this is going to stay as an open world game, and if they want to make it non-linear like Scarlet and Violet were, make it so that you're rewarded for going off the beaten path and doing things out of order. And on top of that, please add level scaling. For the love of God, please add level scaling, because it's either annoying or it's not fun when you do things out of order. And it's kind of a weird thing with that. But yeah, otherwise it looks good. Oh, one thing is starters I'm a little iffy about. We got our second grass owl, and we got our second water reptile. So I don't know.
I thought I know a lot of people were calling it an owl, but for some reason I thought it was a chick. I thought it was a chicken.
Yeah,
maybe
just some-
chicken. Maybe it is an owl though.
It is a chick. I mean, it's a
Okay.
chick, so it could be any bird. But the fun thing that I love about Brout is he's a chick because he's a chickpea. Like he's a literal chickpea, which is just, I think that's
That
clever.
is funny.
I thought it was an owl because Brout, like the OW in the name. But yeah,
It could. I mean, it could evolve into anything. But
yeah.
I really like Brout because he's a chickpea, like I said, and then he's like shaped like a little chickpea, and then his obviously he's got the brow. That's his whole thing. He's like this angry little bird, but then the super just like chef's kiss part of his design is if you look at his little leaf eyebrows, they connect to his beak, and it's like a little sprout, like sprouting up out of the ground. I just love when
That's really
Pokemon
cool.
do that. I'm like, yes, I love that because
Yeah.
I love the design aspect of it.
That's being
So-
overlooked with the hype of Pombon. Everyone's in love with Pombon.
Yeah.
Which is funny because Pombon is kind of just like he's just a dog, but like that's
Very
all he needs to
simple
be.
design. Yeah.
So
Pombon
yeah.
reminds me of like a Gen 1 or Gen 2 starter where it's like a very simple design but very kind of likable and effective in that way.
Yeah.
Have any-
Pombon reminds me of cassette beasts.
Yeah, I could see that.
There's literally a creature in there called Pombon that is a fire type. It's the exact same. Just don't beat around. It's the same thing.
Has anyone here seen the movie, old Jim Henson movie, The Dark Crystal?
Yeah, of course.
Never seen
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Old movie from the 80s, but there is a creature in that movie. It's a dog. It's like this little dog creature, but it's like a puffy chicken nugget dog with no legs. Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And it's like super
Yeah.
vicious. It's kind of adorable. It's vicious, but it also gets really scared. But it doesn't have legs, and it's like a puffball. Like imagine a vicious Pomeranian with no legs that rolls at really high speeds. And that's kind of my hope for like its next form. Like I hope it loses the legs and like its growing puff, and kind of just rolls for traversal. But
yeah,
I mean,
and it, yeah.
If I get this game, I'm going Brout. I just want to throw that out there. Assuming evolutions, I got to see the evolutions, of course.
Yeah.
I don't like the evolutions, and I'm like, all right, well.
See, I go water every gen.
I usually go fire.
I've always liked,
and I
water.
love dogs, but I don't love small dogs. And so they had to make it a small dog.
Hey, the final evolution is all that matters.
Yeah,
You think
like the final evolution makes them like a Scooby Doo thing. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Do you think all three go bipedal?
Oh, I think I was actually talking to my friends about this today. It didn't register to me that every single fire final evolution except for Skeledirge is bipedal, right? Yeah, every single one. So
the problem isn't necessarily bipedal, it's whether they become a person or not. Because like
Will it be like a
Blaziken,
Cinderace situation?
yeah, like Blaziken or Typhlosion, like they are bipedal, but they're cool. They look like a monster. They look like this like powerful beast.
Sure.
Versus Cinderace or Incineroar, like they look like a person in a suit. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Even Delphox looked like, I don't know. Delphox was kind of pushing it. I like Delphox's design. My favorite fire starter is Infernape, and I think Infernape is just perfect in terms of how it goes from Chimchar, Monferno to Infernape. And they couldn't have done it any other way. But I do agree that the Incineroar, Cinderace, maybe even Delphox line are pushing it. I'm not a fan of Emboar because I think Blaziken and Infernape did the firefighting so much better than Emboar, in my opinion. So yeah,
I could see my official prediction is that Brout will obviously be bipedal because he's already bipedal. I think Pombon will stay on all fours, but I think Gekwa is going to become the one of the three that's like a person because it already kind of is like going in that direction. It's got like the big eyelashes, and I'm just, of the three, I'm the most nervous about that one. But I have hope for the other two.
I wonder if it'll have Inteleon vibes or not. because I was not expecting Inteleon from Sobble at all. And then we got freaking James Bond.
I know, Secret Agent. The one that I found, oh my gosh, what's his name? I just brain farted. The duck.
Quaxley and Quackaball.
Quaxley, I thought was so cool. I was like, dude, this is like a sick water duck with a sick pompadour, and like he's all cocky and he's got like charisma and stuff. I'm like, dude, this one's gonna be so sick. And then it was a weird like gypsy dancer at the end. I was like, huh.
Yeah.
I was expecting it to be more like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure type thing with like just a really wild, almost like greaser biker water Pokemon.
Because the leaks very early with Gen 9 were saying water fighting, and that's what I wanted. Initially, I wanted Greninja to be water fighting when they were saying that Froakie's final evolution is going to be like a ninja. I was like, oh, water fighting would be so cool. So I was excited to see what Quackaball... I did still end up choosing Quaxley and going to Quackaball, but it's not what I expected the water fighting duck to be like.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, let's go to Nintendo Primal Rage.
Yeah, what's up?
What were your thoughts on this Pokemon trailer? What are your excitement levels? What are you worried about? And ultimately, as someone I know, you're one of the people on this show that's not the biggest Pokemon dude. So
nope, hate it.
What do you like? What would you even hope for this gen to get you, I guess, more amped for, or maybe get you more into the series?
Well,
if anything,
they did the thing they needed to do at first, and that was show a game that actually looks like a modern video game, just from a visual perspective. So they did that. That was like the first checkbox. And I really, it's not like the greatest looking game, but I said going in, it needed to just look good for Pokemon, and it does. I think of any of the 3D Pokemon games, this is the best looking one, by far. Like, not even close. So okay, check that box. Obviously, we don't know about performance or bugs or any of that stuff. And the only reason we even think about that is Scarlet and Violet. It wasn't an issue with the Legends EA, or prior Pokemon games. But because it happened the last time they did this giant open world, assuming that that's what this is again, okay, I have a little concern. Obviously, until they show me that I don't need to be concerned about that. But that's all just like technical things and visuals. Gameplay wise, here's the thing. Like, I liked the things they did in Legends, right? I liked how they evolved catching, and then I liked how they evolved battling. Those two individual evolutions in the Legends series are something that I really, really love. And I would like to see those like come together in this game and just get expanded upon. Like, one thing I always kind of felt like they've been doing all these years that just kind of eventually turned me off is Pokemon's the same thing. Yeah, sometimes there's gyms. Every now and then they go away from gyms and do something else. But it's the same thing plus an additional new thing, whether it's mega evolutions or whatever. Like, it's Terra raids. Like, it's like we're doing the same thing, but then we just add one thing to it. It doesn't really evolve anything. It's just making things more complex. And to me, the appeal of Pokemon has always been gamers first RPG. That's what it should be. It should not be super complex. And I get, like, you just want to play the single player, not worry about multiplayer. You don't have to get good at any of this stuff to beat the game, right? Like, it's not like they make the game super difficult. But I just want the game to evolve those mechanics, and instead of just adding to it, just make Pokemon feel fresh again. And there's multiple ways they can do that. I'm not the most creative person, but I will throw out there that another thing that I want them to do, voice acting. We can't have a ZA situation happen again. That was bad. Those cutscenes were made for voice acting. Like, you can't tell me otherwise. So we got voice acting would be great to put in there. Just to help. Again, this is just modern things in video games that we just expect from other games and just don't have in Pokemon. Now maybe the last thing that would at least get me to try the games. I can't guarantee I'll like them because I have no idea what they're going to do. Is just make the world feel lived in, not just by the Pokemon, but by the NPCs as well. NPCs that just stand around and do nothing, and they're still there. Yeah, maybe when it's nighttime, they're in their house, still standing around doing nothing. Dude, that's what I expect on Game Boy. It's 2026. These NPCs should be alive. They should have lives. They should be doing things. And I'm not even asking for things like super complex. Like when you play, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, those characters have a life. They're doing things. They're not in the same place all the time. They have activities they're doing. They feel alive, like they actually exist. And Zelda's like a really weak display of this because there's other games that do it way better, way more complex. I'm not asking for the next Fable level of interactions here. Like that game's going all in on that stuff. I just want them to feel like they actually exist and they're not just glorified boxes that I'm walking up to, like signs. Because signs that I just walk up to and interact with. Because that's what Legends EA was really bad with this. The cars didn't even move. Like we're in a city. There's not a single moving vehicle in a city. What? And again, that's Legends, and I get that that's not this. I think back to Scarlet and Violet, and some of the characters had some motion to them. It wasn't all of them. And another thing is, don't put any buildings in the game that I can't actually enter. Because what's the point? That's like just dropping a tree in my way that I can't climb or can't go around. What's the point then? Shouldn't be there. Like that just makes you feel like you're just trying to fill. You're just trying, because the world is so big. You're just trying to fill the area rather than give me things to do. One thing I do hope they carry over from Scarlet and Violet. One thing I did like is they had kind of two little mainline quests. I like that. Have multiple mainline quests, not just like go beat all the gym leaders. No, have that other quest line that's like a completely different type of thing. I did like that. So bring that back. Maybe even have 3 of them. They did that in Tears of the Kingdom as well. They have multiple mainline quests. So that's just, I look, this all sounds kind of simple and basic, but that's because I don't feel like Pokemon's been doing the simple and basic things. They've been focused too much on the gimmicks. That's all I got for it. But I do think it looks really good. Like, finally, I can say a Pokemon game. All right, that looks like worthy of one of the visuals look worthy of one of the top franchises in the world.
Sure. All right, Thunderstash, thoughts on the Winds and Waves trailer, what you're excited about, if you have any worries about it, and what you ultimately hope for with this game.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I think it looks great. Again, that's been the one thing that a lot of folks have had a hang up on was how the game looks. And again, it's never an issue for me, but I will most certainly welcome better graphics. We know the performance is going to be good because we're not going to go backwards. And what I mean by that is like with the Switch 2 edition of Scarlet and Violet being 60 FPS, that's what it is from now on. I don't see us going backwards. So I'm not concerned about performance. I will say that one of the things that really stood out to me is the water graphics. Absolutely lovely. And you know what I thought of first, though? Here's what I thought. Well, Pokemon, right? You can get the bike.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like, dude, give me a jet ski. Let me hit those waves. I'd be all about that, dude.
That actually might be a thing because if you look at the character art of the player characters, they're holding what looks to be like a hoverboard type thing. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be like how like a form of like the bike, like a little bit of fast travel, but I think you'll be able to go from the land to in the waves with that.
I think so too, man, because you don't make the water look that good if you're not going to allow us to interact with it. And you don't title one of the games Waves, which of course is with water, unless we're going to be able to once again interact with the water, right? I think you don't focus much on it and you'd put your attention elsewhere unless this was going to be an actual thing where you can hit the actual waves, which, hey, dude, hoverboard, jet ski, I don't care. I just want to hit those waves because that water looks incredible. And so with that said, obviously, I'm going to be picking up Wave. And also to, indiscreetly kind of support Wave Race 64. I think you should probably do that. We should all probably pick up Wave. And, maybe Nintendo will see that and then they'll want to make a new Wave Race. Obviously, I'm just kidding. That wouldn't happen.
Also, it seems to be hinting at underwater exploration too, which is nice. We haven't had that since Gen 3, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, so that's very exciting to go underwater and see what's all down there.
Yeah, that is really exciting. And, game on PS5, Horizon, really fun exploring underwater. And the water just looks so good in that game. And also, it reminds me of like Bonanza, right? The water in Bonanza looked fantastic. And it's just nice to be able to like explore underwater in these games. And there was a time in video game history where water related levels were something you didn't really look forward to. Yeah. Because they weren't always like, look at like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1 on NES, the water level where you get electrocuted.
Yep.
Like people hated that. Yeah, the bombs where you have to defuse the bombs. The water temple, of course, gave a lot of people nightmares. I didn't have any issues with it, but I saw my cousin go through it.
I love the water temple.
Water temple is overhated.
Yeah.
It's so overhated. The only problem with the water temple is the boots.
Because the menu navigation is bad in the water temple.
Yeah, that's the only issue. The temple itself is rad.
It's a very well designed puzzle in Ocarina of Time. I really liked it. I was gonna say the best classic water levels are the DKC 1 and 2 ones. Those are actually fun.
Well,
because it's easy to control. And then you have the swordfish animal friend, and then the music is nice too.
Yeah, the music, David Wise, right there. That the soundtrack in those levels is just so good. You think about it though. Look at Wind Waker. As soon as you hit the waters, you get the Great Sea theme. Yep. I would love it if when we hit the water, we get some sort of heroic kind of amazing theme like that, like some really good music on the water. That would be nice.
Helps create that sense of adventure,
It does. Yeah, that's the word, man. Adventure, man.
Yeah,
going on a journey.
Yeah. I hate to bring up Xenoblade again, but Xenoblade 3 had that same thing where later on, like midway into the game, you get a boat and you can like access this like huge water section of the map, and there's 2 tracks. There's like the basic track that plays when you're like sailing in the seas. And then right before you go to the final boss, you're like sailing towards the final dungeon, and it's the same track, but it's like super like bombastic and epic. So yeah, despite some very empty ocean waves, music can like make or break that vibe.
Yeah, it totally can, man. Overworld themes in general, right? Whether it's on land or sea. Yeah, I played a game earlier this year that I reviewed, Code Vein 2, and there was no music at all in the overworld. And
weird.
It was storming in the game, but like, there's like thunder, lightning, but you barely heard anything. And of course, like I messed around with it too. I'm like, is something going on with my surround sound receiver? Or is something wrong in the PS5 option? Like I checked everything. I saw other people comment on it after I posted my review, but I'm like, dude, such a missed opportunity to give us some sort of, again, adventurous music that really plays into like Final Fantasy 7 Remake. I think the theme is On Our Way, right?
Yeah. And Rebirth did such a good job of all the overworld themes in each region of Rebirth are phenomenal. That's one thing I sort of wanted in Metroid Prime 4 with Soul Valley. I know like Soul Valley gives that isolation vibe, but I was like, just had like a little bit of like a ambient noise to it, but it's whatever.
I
get what they're
scanned
going
my
for.
Metroid, amiibo, so I was able to put music there, but I wish everyone could have done that as
Yeah.
well, like had the option to.
I
But
wish.
yeah, it's that. It's like Zelda with Ocarina of Time, obviously the great field, music like that. I'd like to see that in Pokemon. Just an amazing score. That would be really cool. But look, outside of that, guys, like I don't have a lot of expectations. I will say that I trust they're going to do a good job. And you could call me crazy for saying that based on Scarlet and Violet, but I didn't have any problem. I really didn't with Scarlet and Violet. I know there was issues, and again, I don't hyperfixate on the negative, and the things that people are talking about on the internet are not things that affect me. And I just honestly don't allow it to. I enjoyed the gameplay, right? Could things be better? Yes. Could frame rate be better in Tears of the Kingdom on Switch 1? Yes. But did I not love the game? You know what I mean? Like minor grievances, and it's all fixed now. So I'm just not concerned about performance. I don't see us going backwards. So really, I'm just like open arms, ready, open-minded, ready for whatever they're going to give us. All I know is I'm getting wave, man. And I'm going to hit those waters. That's it.
Hell yeah. Eric, what are your thoughts on this one? Thoughts on the trailer, excitement, worry, any hopes for this?
Man, no, trailer looked really good. It's to the point where I may pick it up just based on the first trailer, and I'm not a Pokemon person, so that's saying stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what they kind of do with these. It'd be really kind of a cool idea if they went, they showed the kind of underwater part and stuff like that, but that's in waves, and then you go to wind, and all of a sudden you have sky islands that you're going to, and so that's kind of the difference between with the wind and the waves and stuff like that. That'd be kind of cool. I highly doubt they're going to go that much different between the two games, but it'd be cool. Man, I mean, everybody kind of said a whole lot of what I'm thinking. We don't know a whole lot about them yet, so it's kind of hard to judge, what they'll be. But so far, for what I've seen, it is definitely looking good.
Can I pose a question?
Yeah.
How does everyone feel about 2027?
Oh, good.
I'm very happy.
Comments.
Well, let's answer that. I'm happy about it as well. But I have another question related to that at the very end, because I'm curious. But we all agree it's a good thing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very shocking, but very good thing.
What, the longest in development Pokemon game of all time? Let's go.
Yeah, and it frees up the calendar for something this year.
Yeah.
It's honestly pretty unprecedented, because Pokemon is usually always on a strict 3-year timeline with the new generations. They did 4 years once with like Gen 4, I believe. So like 4.5, 5 years, depending on when in 2027 it drops, is totally unprecedented. And I feel like with it looking as good as it already does, and I really feel that just makes me feel all the more optimistic. I really feel like they took some of the criticisms from Scarlet and Violet to heart. And I also think, though, with that said, in my opinion, I feel like it's going to be first half of 2027, because there is a part of me that feels like at least a part of the reason why they're going 2027 is because the date they would have launched, which is the date they always launch their games, is the weekend before Thanksgiving, which is November 19th this year. And that just so happens to be the day that GTA 6 is coming out. So I feel like that could potentially play into it too. But it just gives them more time to polish things up. So it shows that they're like, oh, we're not trying to rush this out and maybe like go earlier. We're fine with waiting a few months until we can find like our open spot in the calendar to shine. And then we can like make things even better while we do that. So yeah, it's super encouraging. And then also on the music, I wanted to say, make a comment on the music because it actually is another thing that is really making me feel good about the quality they're going for, because the title theme for the trailer, not only was it super good, but I saw that it was performed by like a live orchestra in Japan. They had them like record it, which is super, that like, that's an extra step up. And it also gave me a little, like just tonally, it gave me a little bit of a feel of like some of the Breath of the Wild trailers. I was like, I had that same kind of feeling like creeping through while I was watching it. And kind of like we mentioned at the start, Breath of the Wild was such a special game. So it's like, if you even have just like a little bit of that secret sauce, like this is going to be a lot of fun. So.
Hell yeah. Yeah, guys. I mean, I was impressed with this trailer, I gotta say. I had a couple hopes for the game. Obviously, I have a ton of hopes for any mainline entry. But a couple of the things that I had mentioned on our show prior was that I hope it runs just good enough that people won't be talking about the performance in the trailer, and it looks just good enough that people won't be as hyper fixated. And I feel like my thoughts are that if you set the bar low, this trailer was very impressive. And that's not to say that it looked bad or anything, but I feel like it is a big leap from what we got last time, and it looks like a big leap, but I do think they've already set the bar super low. I think the water looks unbelievable. I think it's the star of the show. I agree with Stash. The water looks amazing in this game. I think the environments look way better than anything we've ever had in a modern mainline Pokemon. There is one part of this visually that I'm not seeing the improvement yet, which is a little bit of a bummer, but like Stash, like a lot of other people who love Pokemon, graphics aren't the priority. It ultimately comes down to the gameplay. I thought the buildings, like there's a shot too where it shows like that like bird's eye view of the beautiful ocean, and you see the little like cabana huts, and they look like they look super flat textures. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Did you guys notice this too? Like a lot of the architecture I feel like in the game looks like ZA architecture, or maybe slightly better than Scarlet Violet, but nowhere near as improved as the environments are looking in this game. And that's totally fine. That's very nitpicky. I'm really happy to say that they showed a windmill going in this one. If you guys remember the windmill from the trailer of Scarlet and Violet, it was stop motion.
They made sure to show that.
The windmill looked fantastic. Go ahead.
Oops. Yeah, I was going to say, like, obviously it ran good, but the one thing I noticed about the windmill too was, like, talking about textures, is I really liked the brick look of the windmill. Like, it looked like artistically, it looked nice. Yeah. Like, I enjoyed it.
Yep.
So,
and I've always said on this podcast, Hoops, that like I never felt like Pokemon really, like the graphics was the big issue. I always felt like it was the art style problem. I feel like the art style has always been very bland and sterile in the series, and this adds a little bit more character. We're getting a little. It's less flat looking, and I think that's just a huge win all around. I really liked the music as well in the trailer. I do like the 3 starters. I think they're cute. I'm excited to see. I like how they are not over designed, which is something we've seen a little bit in recent generations. So I'm excited for all of that. And I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic. This made a really great first impression for a Pokemon game. Period. I don't think there's anyone who can argue with that. I don't think there's anything mind-blowing about what we saw, except in terms of this is a Pokemon game, and holy crap, this looks better than anything the most lucrative company in the industry has ever done. So I appreciate it, and I hope that the reason why they're pushing it back is because like the Switch 2, they've got more powerful hardware and that they want. I hope it's not a Grand Theft Auto thing. I get it. I don't necessarily know that Pokemon is competing with GTA because they're both so huge, and I think they both will reach different demographics, but maybe that is the case. I just hope it's like, no, you know what? Or even if Nintendo stepped in, because we got an announcement from Nintendo with the last game apologizing for the performance of Scarlet and Violet, which I know Nate has covered this before on his channel. Nintendo never does that. So maybe there's a little bit more pressure from Nintendo. Like, hey, like this brand represents Nintendo in a huge way, and we need a little bit more next time. I don't know. I'm not sure, but Hoops, were you gonna jump in and say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, going back to what Prime mentioned about doing like basic small things like going into buildings and that kind of stuff. It's funny because, and this is just my opinion because I'm a big Pokemon fan,
Sure.
but the novelty of Pokemon is just like the gameplay loop and everything, like the core mechanics and foundations of it. They're just so much fun. And then like this game just like visually looks so nice. And like Stash was saying, if it's got that 60 FPS, that's going to make it look all the better. So you bring all that together and it's like, okay, well now if I can also do those basic things that Prime is talking about, like going into buildings and the NPCs having schedules and like all of the little things, they become big things, because now it's like, holy cow, this is like a complete experience. We've got the graphics, we've got the performance, we've got like the little details.
Those little details too make take away the focus on the graphical fidelity, because the thing is that the Pokemon universe, it's one of the best video game universes ever created. We need that sense of immersion. We need Pokemon to feel alive. It shouldn't be, you see a lot in a lot of the games. Let's say you're out and exploring and you see a patch of like a batch of like 6 Psyducks. They'll walk forward 10 feet, stop, they'll just like kind of like there, and then they'll turn, walk forward 10 feet and stop. And like that's the gist of it. It would be nice to see them interact with the environment a lot more, whether it's eating berries off of a bush or two of them playing around, kind of like how you see Pokemon interact with each other. And I understand it's on rails, but Pokemon Snap, they interact with the environment. They feel like living creatures. I'd love to see them make them feel like living creatures rather than just I don't know, inanimate objects that occasionally are animated and move back and forth. But yeah, the little details. As far as hopes with this one of my biggest hopes isn't going to make it based on the trailers, and I know this one's really divisive. One of my favorite, if not favorite, games in the series is Black and White, and I loved that it was a clean slate of all brand new Pokemon. Guys, I get it. I love Pikachu. I love Blastoise and Charizard and Ninetales and Totodile and Chimchar and all that stuff. But one of my favorite things about new Pokemon games is new Pokemon. So I would love to see a stronger emphasis on new creatures, and this was a new thing that I thought of the other day when I was thinking about this trailer, because a lot of people have had a problem with Black and White being all new Pokemon. I thought it was awesome. Or if they have old Pokemon in the game in new generations, what if all the old Pokemon are new region variants? So whatever this region is, Pikachu's a region variant. And maybe they don't want to mess with Pikachu because it's Pikachu, but like do a region variant for all the classic Pokemon. Do a redesign, add a little flair. I think that would be really cool. Obviously, that's not going to be the case with this one. So instead, what I would really hope to see in this game is add a new typing. I would really love to see a new, light. We have dark Pokemon, maybe light Pokemon. Maybe space. I don't know, a space typing or a sound typing. I'm not really sure, but I think a new typing is past due. I also feel like a new evolution hell, not one evolution, multiple evolutions are way past due. What about
We
a rock?
need our dragon.
A
I want
dragon,
the dragon
Eevee.
Eevee.
Absolutely. A poison type Eevee, a bug type Eevee. Like, we need some new evolutions. I really hope that happens with this one.
If they have a new type, then that's the perfect opportunity to have a new evolution, because the way they did that with Sylveon, I remember the hype for Sylveon was so amazing because it was leaked in Korokoro and everyone's like, oh, what's the typing? Obviously, you're going to want to know what the typing of an evolution is. And there's so many theories. Oh, it's a flying type. Oh, it's a love type. Well, it's just whatever type. And then eventually it was revealed to be fairy, which is the new type. That was a very fun speculation lead up to what type Sylveon was.
Yeah, I think, I mean, even if they dropped it, like we get a future trailer that drops a new typing and then they tease, this is one of 2 new types coming to Pokemon Winds and Waves. Then it's like the speculation fest. Everyone's going nuts trying to think of what that second typing is. I just think that would be a lot of fun. Another thing I'm hoping for in this game, this is another thing that Black and White really excelled in, is and I thought this was going to be a change of direction for the series. It turned out to be kind of a one-off thing, but step it up in the story department. Black and White has a fantastic story. A lot of people who love these games are older now. It's not, I understand you want to appeal to kids, but like bring back a cool rival like Gary, revisiting Fire Red and Leaf Green. Gary's an ass, dude.
Even Sharon and Black and White, Sharon and Bianca were very fun characters to interact with.
I could totally see a more like Gary type of rival, because this kind of goes into a little bit of the leak territory, but not really, because it's when we saw the trailer, you see that giant building. It looks like a resort or something. And my thought is that I feel like we're going to be staying at that hotel and like we're on vacation in this region. Sure. And so we go out and have an adventure. I could totally see our rival being this like resort Nepo baby type of person that's like, they're rich and they're full of themselves and they think they're the greatest thing ever. And they're just like a snob. Like I could totally see that kind of character.
Or a rival who just wants to ruin your vacation.
Exactly.
There should be like this like dark rivalry. I'm a little bit over like the dorky friend who's just like, hey, we should battle. It's like, okay, give me a real rival that like I just want to like whoop their ass, like Gary, who's got like a smart mouth. But so I'm hoping for a deeper, more. It doesn't have to get super dark, but I'd love to see a more substantial storyline, compared to most entries. Let's be real. Black and White did that really well. I'd love to see them return to that. And then other than that, I mean, honestly, guys, despite all my critiques of Scarlet and Violet or Sword and Shield, the one thing I'm not worried about with this game, and it's literally the most important thing of the entire franchise, is I'm not worried that this game's going to be fun, because I've loved and enjoyed, to different varying degrees, but I've loved and enjoyed every single entry despite its flaws, because the core mechanic around it, the capturing, the evolving, and the battling and the gyms is always such a fun experience. It's such a great adventure to go on, to go from this kid who's first entering the Pokemon world to a complete champion who's raised these creatures. So I'm confident that they're going to deliver a fun and more polished experience than we got last time. I hope it's sprinkled with a lot of surprises and things that they don't need to necessarily subvert our expectations, other than doing more than they've done in the past, which it feels like is exactly what they're doing this time. So I'm hopeful. But yeah, does anyone else want to add anything on Pokemon before we move on to the next topic? Any last wishes?
One funny thing I wanted to add is my favorite meme of the starters is how there was a meme that Brout and Palm Bomb look like the Gallagher brothers from Oasis, how Brout looks like Noel and Palmbomb looks like Liam, and I thought that was really funny. There was a picture of Noel frowning and Liam smiling, and it looked exactly like them. I thought that was really funny. That's my favorite Winds and Waves meme so far.
Do we know what starter y'all are gonna choose?
I think I'm choosing Palmbomb for now, but the final evolutions could change my mind potentially.
That's true. But yeah, I'm definitely choosing the dog.
I'm going with Brout, unless the evolutions change things.
Yeah. Gekko is a second for me, actually.
Same.
I don't truly hate Gekko right now. So
I'm going Gekwa. I'm the odd man out, but it's because I always go water starter. I love water starters.
Yeah.
So even if the water starter is hideous, I'm confident in it. We need another. I love Empoleon, dude. I think Empoleon's
good.
Tier designed.
Sinnoh starters were very, very good. All of those Sinnoh starters are very, very well done.
Birdman likes to be wet. It is what it is.
Wet birds.
Wet birds. Anyways, for me, probably. I mean, look, I'm leaning Brout, but again, it's all about the final evolutions. Normally, I go fire all the way, but again, I don't like tiny dog. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Obviously,
Tiny dog will evolve into big dog.
I mean, it depends how big the dog gets.
Yep.
What if it goes the other direction? That'd be weird. So yeah, so leaning towards Brout. Plus, like, look, I unironically like the Angry Birds movie, and he reminds me of the Angry Birds. So is what it is. It'll make my kids happy probably too that I chose the one that reminds them of Angry Bird. Okay, we can probably move on to our next topic, which I believe should be Stash. The only reason he didn't go first is because we want to make sure we got the Pokemon topic in. So what are we talking about, Stash?
All right, guys. So Indie World was this week. And first off, do we want to put up some footage? Will we go over this?
Yeah, Eric's on it.
All right. So Indie World, they said it was going to be 15 minutes. It was longer, thankfully. It was about 18, 19 minutes. And it was tight too. Very tightly edited. So they were able to thankfully fit in a lot of games. And look, for me, I always look forward to Indie Worlds. Always do. I know they get trashed by a lot of folks on the internet. But, you know, I love indie games, man. Well, we need them too. We need them. That's where the innovation's coming from. So I always look forward to these. There was a lot for me personally, but I want to hear from you guys first based on, you know, what was shown and kind of go through these. But did everyone see the Indie World?
Yep.
I did not see it, but I saw like a video recap of some of the stuff on it. So
okay,
I know some games that were there.
All right. Hoops, did you see it?
I did not, but I'm kind of in Nishquick's boat. I kind of like saw some of the announcements.
Okay. Good deal. All right. So I'll kind of go over like some of these games. The first one was Rotwood. Okay. This game looked very interesting. It's co-op action brawler. It's from the studio behind Don't Starve, if you're familiar with that indie title. Really good game. But that one looked very interesting, and that was a shadow drop too. And it's a co-op brawler, but I believe there's roguelite elements in it. Like which immediately reminded me of, what was that game, Gamebird? It's been on my list to eventually review. The indie beat 'em up.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Are you thinking of Absalom?
Yes, Absalom.
Yeah. It's my dude. I cannot wait for you to play that.
I know.
Not to be real. It's my like favorite modern beat 'em up right now. By a landslide.
So it gave me some of those vibes. Rotwood did. And so I was like, I still need to play Absalom, right? And I do have a lot of stuff to review. So I'm gonna hold on this. But it is a Switch 2 console exclusive, and it was shadow dropped. And then that footage that you guys are seeing right now is from Densh Attack from Fireshine Games. And this is the second time we've seen this game. This looks wild.
This is a game that I'm extremely hyped for. I hope it's as good and as crazy as it looks. But yeah, it's like a jet grind radio where you play as a train. It's more linear. You play as a train, and there's boss fights, and it's wild and super Japanese.
Yep.
Looks really cool.
And there is a demo for that for Switch 2. If anyone wants to try that. But again, this is all of these games. I feel like that were shown at the indie world are again games that you would only see from indie studios. Like they're all, some of these are really out there. Like again, Densha Attack. Blueprints, that was a big one. Of course, we had all talked about the idea of Blueprints coming to Switch 2. I have that on my bingo card. So that was another pick. It does have Joy-Con 2 mouse controls at it, which is nice. It's $29.99 normally, but there is a launch sale. So you can pick it up right now for $19, which is cool. It's a good deal. We had Blight It from Drinkbox Games. That's coming to Switch 2 in the fall. And this is described as an exploration-driven action RPG from the creators of Guacamelee. Have you guys played Guacamelee? If not, excellent game.
I've heard it's a good Metroidvania.
Yeah. So when they mentioned it was from, of course, the makers of Guacamelee and Nobody Saves the World, 2 games I've played, I really enjoyed. I'm like, okay, yeah, like first off, this looks really good. But when I saw it was the studio developing it, I got more excited for it because, the pedigree's there. The game we're seeing right now, this one was interesting. As you can see, you have a dog and it appears that the dog's in heaven, which, all dogs go to heaven. Great movie. Maybe not for kids, especially today's kids. 80s kids, 90s kids, we could handle that. Today's kids, I'm not so sure they could handle All Dogs Go to Heaven. Some of those scenes cause some nightmares. But yeah, for real, this one's described that you are in doggy heaven, according to Nintendo's press release here. And you stars a Welsh corgi named Bongu. And, you sniff, bark, run, jump as you embark on a touching narrative adventure. That comes out digitally May 29th. There's actually a physical edition as well coming out in June. It's wild. Interesting. Do you guys have any thoughts on my little puppy?
Looks very wholesome.
Totally.
I'm
not my kind of game, but cool. I'm happy for people that like it.
I don't think I'd play it because, I don't know if it's my kind of game either, but also I don't know. Like, I feel like it's going to be like a super emotional game that no one's ready for.
Didn't the trailer get like millions of views?
Yeah.
Not surprised. It's a very cool concept for a game, though.
I agree. It is a really cool concept.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. We'll see how it's priced. It could be priced nice enough to say, all right, you know what? I'll give it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Could be one of those. The game we're seeing now is Radaton, which I believe is connected to Patapon, from what I've read. Or no, that was Hippo too, but Radaton was there. Have you guys played Patapon?
No, but it's like a rhythm game or something, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very interesting game. So again, that should be interesting. The one we're seeing now here, this was one of my real highlights, Moonlighter 2. I'm part of the early access on Steam for this on my Steam Deck. And I was hoping this game would come to Switch too, because I played the first Moonlighter on Switch. And this game looks awesome. Have you guys played any Moonlighter?
The first one. Great game.
Yeah. Very cool concept. And so this is coming later this year. Again, the Moonlighter 2, the Endless Vault, that's still in early access. It hasn't gotten a full release yet on PC, so makes sense that it's coming out later this year. I don't know if it'll be day and date with PC. I guess we'll just have to wait and see, but that's probably going to be a day one pickup for me. That might be one that I review early, actually. That's how excited I am for it. I might try and do an embargo review for that one. Let's see what they're going to show next here. Let's talk about this next game. We got... Oh, this is... Okay, Voodoo. You know, again, some of these games interested me, some don't. This is one that didn't exactly interest me. This is a cozy puzzle game where you assemble wooden scenes piece by piece into a 3D coloring book. And it does support a Joy-Con 2 mouse controls. We've talked about this before, but again, a lot of the games for Indie World that take advantage of the Switch 2 tech are going to make it into the event. Like the hanging out by the fire game. Prime example. Took advantage of like all the different Switch 2 tech. And you'll notice a lot of these games are going to use Joy-Con 2 mouse controls, which I think is cool. But let's see. So Rotwood Blueprints, Bladed. We had Mini Shoot Adventures. There's a Switch 1 and Switch 2 version. The developer actually reached out to me shortly after the event, see if I want to review it. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. I was excited for this game the first time I saw it, which was last year. And we didn't find out until the Indie World that was actually even getting a Switch 2 version.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was nice. And oh yeah, they're showing it now. Perfect.
This game looks awesome. It's like a shoot 'em up bullet hell Zelda.
That's exactly how it was described in the email that they sent to me. Yeah, and
it's literally like a classic Zelda game, but a shoot 'em up bullet hell.
It's pretty long too, from what I read. Let me double check, but I had checked howlongtobeat.com, and you know, anytime a game comes out like on another platform and then comes to Switch 2, I always check howlongtobeat.com because I have to see how long some of these games are to see if I can even fit them in for review. And to my surprise, this one was actually relatively long. I think it was like 10 to 12 hours, which, as you know, is unheard of for a twin stick bullet hell type of game. But again, that's where the Legend of Zelda stuff comes in. It's just, again, it's an absurd mashup, in my opinion, which is why I'm interested in it. So I will be reviewing that. And then here we have, was this the
Midnight Walk?
The Midnight Walk. So this came out last year on PS5 and PSVR 2. I played this on PSVR 2. I was excited to see it come to Switch 2, and especially with as good as it looks, because the developers did mention afterwards on Twitter that, you know, this is all from Switch 2. It's coming out March 26th. I did talk to them. It's going to be $30, and that is a game I'll be reviewing. I don't know if you guys have played this. Have you, by chance, played it on PS5? Or have you seen it before? Well, obviously the art style is very cool. Kind of got that stop motion, a little bit of claymation, a little bit of like Nightmare Before Christmas vibes, right? if I recall, the developer worked on Lost in Random as well. If you remember that game, which again has that kind of similar, very unique looking art style. And again, the footage you're seeing right now is for Rotwood. This is the game that kind of gave me some Absalom vibes a little bit.
For sure.
But again, I haven't played Absalom, so I'm just going based off of the eye test, but it is a beat 'em up. There's roguelike elements. Absalom is the same thing. And again, this is a Switch 2 exclusive, so I'd be interested to see how that game reviews, see what kind of depth we have with it. But also, that one looks pretty awesome. One of them that is coming out March 17th is called Dead Zone Rogue. And it's a first-person roguelike shooter where you play online. It looks very interesting. It's procedurally generated. You can get like gear upgrades. They have elements that are added to them. Again, Joy-Con 2 mouse controls. So it looks very interesting. I'm sure the footage will come up soon. This one's coming out on my birthday. And I would like to review this. This is Mixtape. And what's crazy is a lot of the footage we're seeing here is actual gameplay. That right there is actual gameplay. Obviously, that's not. I think there's probably some more gameplay in the beginning. But guys, Mixtape, any thoughts on this one?
I love the
I've got high hopes for it. I drafted it for fantasy cricket. Jesus.
Is it like a band road trip kind of game in its story?
I'll read you the release. So, again, it's Annapurna Interactive. From the developers of BAFTA award-winning game The Artful Escape, Mixtape unfolds in a narrative-driven adventure of three fans exploring the greatest hits of their teenage experience, from the first kiss to the last dance, inspired by classic coming-of-age movies, which when they're riding in that convertible, it's very Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, I got a lot of Ferris Bueller and John Hughes vibes from it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm guessing that's what they're going for. They didn't say it, but, you know, it's obvious if you grew up with it. Mentions it features eclectic gameplay and a varied soundtrack of popular music from artists including Devo, the Smashing Pumpkins.
What?
And
Smashing Pumpkins?
Yeah, I know, that's classic.
I
haven't thought about them since like the 90s, but yeah.
That's cool.
Really cool. Coming to Switch 2, May 7th. So again, like all of these games outside of what was it? One we had just seen a moment ago is kind of Blighted. Blighted's fall, but everything else is coming out like really soon, which is nice to know that all these games are going to be out soon.
Some of them are out today.
There was three. I think three Shadow dropped, which was of course Blueprints.
The shooter adventure.
Mini shoot. Yep. Mini shoot adventures and Rotwood. All three of those shadow drops. So shadow drops are always fun.
Blueprints is getting a physical as well, right?
Yeah, by I Am 8-bit.
Okay.
And it is going to be an actual on card. It's not a key card.
No game key card. Wow, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I agree. It's great. And you know, my hope would be that all of these kind of more boutique-y, I know I Am 8-bit's big. I bought plenty of games from them, but all of the boutique physical outlets, I hope we actually get complete, physical cartridges from them. The limited run games of the world, premium edition games, like you name it. Hopefully we get carts. I think it'll make a lot of people happy.
I'm very curious if Expedition 33 comes to Switch 2, how they're going to do that physical. Is it going to be on card or is it going to be a game key card? Because I was talking to my friend about this and he was saying that he believes it'll be on cart, which will be amazing if it is. And he's like, Sandfall and Kepler understand the audience behind this game, and they would totally want to put it on cart. But I was like, I wouldn't blame them if they did a game key card. It would suck, but I wouldn't blame them with them being like a smaller indie developer and them wanting to put it on a game key card. But I don't know. That's the one indie game I'm curious to see what they choose to do for physical release.
I would guess they go true physical.
That would be awesome.
For the reasons your friend said. And because look, I worked with them in the lead up to Expedition 33, and they were so cool. I remember talking about it here on the podcast, last year, whenever it was, and they were willing to let anybody that wanted to review the game review it. They even said, like, you don't have to even be like a YouTuber.
Yeah.
You could be a full-time chef. I remember them specifically saying you could be a full-time chef. And if you want to play this game and like give your thoughts on social media or something, we'll give you the game. I'm like, wow. Like, not only are you charging like not full price for the game, but you're willing to give it to anyone. You could just tell that, like, based on the interactions, they understood the assignment. I'm in their creator program as well, Kepler, and all my interactions with them have been really cool, like very creator friendly.
Yeah,
So-
they definitely are very much in tune with the gaming landscape and gamers in general, which is awesome.
It is,
And
man.
they are
It's
gamers
refreshing.
too. They have a very good taste in games. Like, if you go to their website and see the
Yeah.
developers and see their favorite games, they have a lot of cool choices.
They
Cool
do.
picks.
They
Yeah.
do. That was one of the reasons I was excited to, to be in their program. Is like,
Yeah.
like, you guys know how to pick them, and there's some publishers out there that I've worked with consistently now that know how to pick games. They know how to pick good games, like Dangan Entertainment. I've worked with them on a handful, and they just keep picking games that I legit am interested in, and it seems like they get it, which I like. Because you can't say that for most publishers. There's definitely some misses in there. Here we have the good old sizzle reel, right? And I think for the most part we got Tome 2. I don't know if you guys played Tome 1. That was a nice little indie game. So that was nice to see they were getting a second one there. Outbound. That's a cozy game where you turn an empty camper van into the home of your dreams in a cozy off-the-grid exploration game, which looks interesting. It's coming to Switch 1 and Switch 2. There is a demo for that right now available. There's actually quite a bit of demos. Unrailed 2 got a demo. So, look, I think overall, I'll just get this out of the way for me. Blueprints, Blighted, Mini Shoot Adventures, again, I already have. I'm already working on the game for review. Densha Attack has my attention because it's so crazy. Mixtape, I'm 100% like planning that I'm going to review that game. I think that'd be a fun one to play too on my birthday because it is very retro. It's very 80s inspired. I'm an 80s kid, so I'm like, yeah, dude, that sounds perfect. I made plenty of mixtapes by recording songs off the radio, so like this would be cool. This would be a fun one. Nice little throwback. And then Moonlighter 2, again, I'm in the early access. I was hoping it would come to Switch 2, but I was prepared to play it on Steam Deck, but hoping for Switch 2, and then it got announced. So I'm like, yeah, in on that. And then I talked to the Midnight Walk developers as well for review. That's coming out March 26th. So like for me, there's a handful of games I want to play. And that's why I got to throw it to you guys. I want to know, like, are you planning on playing any of these games? Because I do feel like I'm a little bit of the exception when it comes to indie worlds, but maybe I'm not. Nishquick, are you going to play any of these? I'll start with you, man.
Blueprints does look interesting. I sort of had my eyes on it last year, and now it's kind of like it's on Switch 2. It's a lot more accessible. It's going to be in handheld mode, so more incentive to possibly pick that up. Mixtape looks cool. I'm not an 80s or 90s kid, but I love that kind of music.
Yeah.
I don't listen to modern music. I'm one of those kinds of guys.
Good for you,
So,
man. Neither do I. I haven't listened to anything really past 2000.
yeah, like I heard Smashing Pumpkins and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I actually saw Devo in concert last year. It was pretty funny. Devo and B-52s came to town. My friend was like, hey, you want to go? This might be the last time they ever perform. And I was like, sure. So that was fun. But yeah, I also the rhythm game looked good. Rattan, I think it was what it's called. That looks pretty cool. But
Yeah,
I've been dipping my toes into indies more. So I think this is a good collection of indies to look through. Like I'm playing Crosscode right now, if you guys have heard of that.
How you liking it?
Absolutely.
It is scratching the Zelda itch for me.
So Dangan Entertainment.
Oh
made
yeah,
that.
you're right.
That's what I'm saying. Like so many of the
that's
games
them.
that I've been reviewing, they make, and then I looked at their back catalog because they're like, if you want to review anything else that we've released, let us know. And then I looked, I'm like, oh my god, you guys made Crosscode. Like, I love this game. I played that before YouTube, but I was like, dang. Because again, I was looking through them. Like there was a handful of games I didn't know they made.
And they have Alabaster Dawn or something coming soon. Yeah,
Yep.
Radical Fish is doing that. But yeah, that's good. It is a lot more challenging than I expected, but it's fun.
Yeah, for sure. Hoops and Hip Hop. What about you, man? Any games here that you are thinking about playing?
I don't know if I'll get to them or not, but I agree with the mixtape. I just like the premise of that one a lot. And then I was gonna say, with the Dogs Go to Heaven game, I forget the name already, but that game,
My Little Puppy.
My Little Puppy. Thank you. That game kind of typifies what makes indies so interesting to me, and it's that a lot of them are based on this premise that's like super unique and interesting. So this one is a dog that's died and gone to heaven. And you don't see that with AAA games because it's either like they're so big and massive that they're just like expecting you to buy it regardless, or they don't have that kind of unique factor as much. And so that game catches my eye for that reason. So it might be one that I look into.
Very nice. Yeah, good call. I agree with you. All these games we saw, they're far too risky for AAA to make. Releasing a game like this could break some of these AAA companies, oddly enough. Birdman, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I love indies. I play as many as I can because, like you said, this is where, especially in modern gaming age, this is where you see all the innovation and really creative ideas in a way that companies just aren't able to afford the risk. Handful here that I'm really excited for. I have not played the demo of Dench Attack yet. Really looking forward to playing that. This is one I've had on my radar for months now since we saw the first reveal trailer. Just that cool Japanese vibe with the kind of jet grind radio themes and the big boss attacks. It's just so wild and crazy and Japanese in all the best ways. Really excited for that. I hope it lives up to my expectations because I'm expecting something pretty cool there. Blueprints. This one's going to be a double dip. I bought this when it was brand new on my PS5. Really loved what I played on it. But you know what? I stopped playing for no other reason other than, man, this game would be a lot more fun if I could play it in handheld mode and on the go. And I could play it in bed and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I put it down. Here it is. I'll be double dipping on that. I'm curious about the Midnight Walk. That one looks interesting. I know you got to play it, Dash, and thought it was pretty cool. Mixtape. This is one that I'm excited for. I drafted it for a reason. Moonlighter 2, very high up. I love the first Moonlighter. It's a very cool concept. You're a merchant, and it's got some cool roguelike elements. And the first one was a lot of fun. I think this one looks even more grand, and they've updated to 3D instead of the pixel art, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, Mini Shoot Adventures looks really cool. Stash, I'm really curious to hear your thoughts since you're going to be reviewing this one. This game looks really cool to me. Blighted looks cool. Yeah, I don't know. The question is more, which of these am I not going to play? Because
Right.
that's the bigger question. They all look good. I'm sure some of it will come down to how well some of these review. I know you'll probably be reviewing a handful of these, so I do look forward to hearing your impressions. You're one of the reviewers that I trust, and
thank you.
As a friend and doing the podcast, my taste too. So
I do.
It's always cool. Stash hits up my DMs every once in a while. I was like, "Hey man, have you heard of this one? I've been playing it for review. I really think you should check it out." So yeah, let me know for sure on Mini Shoot Adventures because I'm curious. But yeah, a handful of these. I'm excited. I think a lot of them look good. So
nice, man.
I'll play as many as time will allow.
Right. I know that's always the thing. Eric, you gonna play any of these games?
Yeah, I don't know if I'll play them, but I know just a couple of them that looked really cool. I did like Moonlighter 2. It did seem like a really good concept. I like the look from the Midnight Walk for sure. I just like that type of game feel and things like that, the look of it. So those were the two that really kind of stood out for me. That I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if I'll play them, but they definitely piqued my interest. And then to see Blueprints come is just freaking awesome. So
yeah, I agree. It's a good deal now too. I might pull the trigger on it. I don't know. It's going to be a better deal. All right. Prime thoughts.
One, I really enjoyed the Indie World a lot. Just starting there, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was one of the better ones, just for the quality of games they were showing from start to finish. They had like 3 shadow drops, which was just awesome. Usually you get 1. We had 3 now. Obviously, Indie Worlds are more likely to have shadow drops than multiple shadow drops in other Nintendo events. Wasn't there one of these games that looked a little bit like Zelda in terms of how it played? I can't remember what it's called.
Well,
Mini
in terms
Shoot.
of how it played, not.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
not talking
Mini
about
Shoot
Mini
doesn't
Shoot.
play like that.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Mini Shoot.
Probably
Talking about-
Moonlighter 2 is what you're thinking.
Let me look at Moonlighter 2 again. I was just looking at these.
Yeah. I was watching your live stream. I think you mentioned something about.
Yeah, Moonlighter 2 is it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one that I'm definitely interested in. That's a potential buy for me. Or at least to reach out to them to see if they want to work together on something. But that one looked really good. I thought Denzo Rogue looked really good as well. Yeah, I know it's a FPS shooter, but looked pretty good. And Mixtape is always fascinating to me. Just the art direction on that's just incredible. Probably going to be super heavy story driven and probably pretty emotional. And I can get into games like that. I like really good stories. So those are kind of the ones that stood out. Now, Blueprints I've never played. Obviously, we all know it's one of the best indie games that came out last year. So I've always been interested in it. It's obviously out right now. It's one of those games I might just pick up at some point if I can't think of anything else to play, But I have such a big backlog right now. It might be a while before I can't think of something to play. I'm doing Resident Evil 9 right now. Like I still got to get back to Dragon Quest 3, finish that off so I can get to 1 and 2, and then finally 7 Reimagined. So I'm going to be on a massive Dragon Quest journey here coming up soon. And those games take a while.
They do. Absolutely.
When people tell me, hey, there's nothing to play, I'm like, well, look, there's all these amazing games coming out right here. I already want to play a number of them, and I still got a bunch of shit to play from last year. So like, we all have massive backlogs. I never want to hear there's a shorter things to play on Switch 2. We have a lot of games on Switch 2.
We do, and I know it's morbid to say, and I've said it a million times, but backlogs will follow us to our grave.
Oh, absolutely.
We ain't finishing all these games in our lifetime.
We should just be buried with all the games that we didn't play.
Right. Yeah, it's sad, but it's the reality of it for sure. We'll never get through all of them, even though we'd love to. Some won't make the cut in this lifetime.
Yeah.
All right. So overall, look, I think this was a successful indie world. There's definitely something for everyone. It wasn't all like farming simulators. It wasn't all cozy games. Like, obviously, these are things we've seen in the past. I thought there was just a really good variety, and both Switch 1 and Switch 2 owners got fed. So, good stuff, man. Good stuff all around. And who doesn't love a nice shadow drop?
There was no Silk Song though.
Right.
The first indie world with truly no Silk Song.
Yeah, I was being asked before if I thought Expedition 33 might show up since it's an indie. I was like, dude, if you do that, every indie world after that, it will never live up to. Like, you can't do that.
That's a general direct announcement.
Yeah.
Even at the partner showcase, I was like, if it's not here, it's gonna be at a general direct because that's game of the year of last year.
Yeah, that would not be good for future indie world because you don't.
That's not fair to the indie
compare.
worlds at that presentation where Expedition 33 will be.
Exactly. Yeah. Even like Mina the Hollower, we had discussed it, here on the podcast, and it's like, Mina was at the last one, but we questioned whether Mina would be there or not. It's like, yeah, Yacht Club's indie, but Mina's going to be really special, and Mina can play it out with the big boys at a general, no problem.
Yeah, because that was at the State of Play, right?
On my team.
It was.
Yeah, it was. I know. We all wanted to draft Mina in.
When I drafted it, people were like, "God damn it!" I'm like, "Yeah." Hey, I got to get a couple bangers on my list after that 74 I got. So, thanks, Yakuza.
All right. So I think we can start the next topic then.
Hell yeah.
That's
gonna be Eric.
Yep, Eric. All right, just changing over the banner. So Mario Day is next week. What are we thinking happens, if anything? Normally, it is just basically a bunch of merch tweets and other stuff like that. But you never know. Nintendo likes to change things up every once in a while. Hoops, what are you hoping for?
Didn't they do a direct in 2024 or like a short Mario like presentation or something? That's where they announced like some release dates of like Thousand Year Door and Luigi's Mansion or something. But it was like specifically branded as Mario Day. What is this?
Is that Woody?
What is that?
What do we have? Woody?
That's what that is.
Wrong game. Sorry. We're talking about Woody's
Bad Fur Day
anniversary for some reason.
Oh my gosh.
Apologies.
Yeah, it's from the Sega CD Classic.
So, but before we dive in towards Mario 10 Day, we actually have a sponsor for this this episode. This sponsor is related to Mario 10 Day. It's actually True Dude, one of the fans of the channel, came in and wanted to sponsor this episode because they are dropping a album for Mario Day. And we have a song from it to listen to quick. If you guys want to get a little preview,
let's hear it.
A little preview of what you could look forward to on Mario Day. Hopefully the audio works. Let's find out. So that is sponsor of today's episode, True Dude. I dropped the link in the chat if you guys want to go check him out. He's dropping a Mario 10 album on Mario Day. You got a little preview of it there. Shout out to him. If you too would like to sponsor an episode, it's something I never talk about. It's at patreon.com/NintendoPrime. Join the $100 tier. Sponsor an episode. Thank you so much, True Dude. And it's appropriate because we're talking about Mario 10 Day. So we know that's happening. We look forward to that.
That slapped.
It was. By the way, it's the first time I listened to it. That was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. Like, I might need to talk to the guy about licensing something to use it on my streams. That was pretty good. All right. That being said, back to you, Eric.
Yeah. Hoops, what are you thinking? What are you hoping for?
Well, my first thought goes to like some kind of final trailer for the Mario movie. And normally I wouldn't look much further past that, but now that Pokemon is not coming this year as like the holiday game, I could see a possible chance of some kind of Mario game dropping. I don't know if it's 3D Mario or something else, but that I don't think that's impossible. No, I think the
Like-
windows will open a little bit.
Yeah, like an announcement and a reveal of it.
Well, yes, and possibly a release because, like I said, we thought Pokemon was going to be the holiday game. It's not now, so something needs to be for Nintendo. Like they got to have a holiday game of some kind, especially because last year they didn't necessarily like they had games that came out in the holiday, but there wasn't like this is the game that you have to buy. Like Mario Kart was that, and Donkey Kong were that, but they were in the summer, obviously. So something's got to fill that slot, and obviously Mario's always a contender for that. So especially like this year too, because it's like with the Mario movie coming out in April, a great way to ride that wave is with a game coming out in the holiday season.
Yeah. And wait, what day is it on? Oh, it's on a Tuesday. Okay. That is tough. Now, saying that, like, could Mario Day coincide with like a general direct, and they announce a 3D Mario there? Because I've noticed that Nintendo is doing a little shorter windows to announcements and releases, which is good. I mean, it depends on the game. Like, Hoops, you just mentioned Donkey Kong, which was revealed in April and then released in June or July, which is very short window, but it was a very like big release. But for something like Fire Emblem, it was released in September or announced in September, and we still don't know the release date for it. But a Mario game could still be very successful with a short like announcement to release window, but I feel like they want to hype that up a bit more because it's like Mario, you know? So I do think this month is a good time to announce something big if a Mario game is coming like October or November. So
and then the other thing is that obviously there's the whole like where's the direct situation. I do not feel like they're going to wait until their typical summer direct to have the next direct. So like March, I feel like is as good a time as any to do something like that. And yeah, maybe it coincides with Mario Day, possibly. So
yeah, Nishquick, you got any other thoughts or?
No, that's basically it. But one thing I was thinking of is like, I would hope that anything that is announced on Mario Day is kind of like the cap off to the 40th anniversary celebrations. And then after that, after everything is announced and hyped up and like one big new trailer for the Mario movie, then they can start sort of focusing on Zelda a bit more into like the spring and summer. But Zelda will probably be in the summertime, but just like let's cap off the Mario 40th and like, I don't know. In terms of branding, I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I'm as big of a Zelda fan as anyone, and everyone was talking about Nintendo forgot about Zelda. Well, in this particular scenario, Zelda is sadly just like the red-headed stepchild, which sounds sacrilegious to say, but like when you have Pokemon's anniversary, which is like a week after Zelda, and it's the biggest media franchise in the world, and then you have Mario, which is Nintendo's #1, like a week after that. It's hard to do all three of those with big announcements, like all on their respective days. Like that's a little too much, like all at once. So I feel like they're just pacing themselves a little bit. And yeah, I expect some Zelda stuff too this year, because this is off topic, obviously, but they've wanted to do a Zelda game like every year for the past little while. That's kind of what their strategy's been. So I think they'll have something for this year for sure.
Sweet. Stashman, what are you thinking?
So as far as Mario, just piggybacking off what you'd mentioned there, Hoops, I do think this was always the plan. This was my prediction last year when we talked about Mario's 40th and what was going to happen. I mentioned that the anniversary would run through the movie. And then after the movie, you guys remember that, right? It's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
This is exactly what we're getting. And I gave you the reasons why, and those appear to be the reasons. And it just makes sense. It's very logical to let Mario have the spotlight when you're using all those marketing dollars already on the movie, right? And you have all these products in the store, all these toys. You got the talking flower coming out at any moment. You got the Yoshi hatching from an egg. I think that's from Jack's Pacific. I showed Michaela. I'm like, look at this, babe. I'm like, this could be the next Tickle Me Elmo right here.
I was just gonna say,
yeah,
that is like 90s holiday #1 toy,
right?
Type feel.
It could,
Yeah.
I think it has the potential to be that for sure, and just be absolutely nuts and sell like crazy, which would be cool. It'd be a fun moment for Nintendo. So yeah, I do think we're gonna get Zelda though after this. Okay, and you brought up good points too about Pokemon. You know, you got to let Pokemon do its thing too, and you know, these are all big anniversaries this time around. This isn't your normal Mario Day. This is the 40th anniversary in a sense. Now, look, we can look at this two different ways. Okay, Nintendo is celebrating the 40th through the movie. Technically, last year was the 40th, right? 1985. I'm 40. Last year was the 40th for Mario, but again, however you want to look at it, Nintendo's celebrating the 40th right now, which leads me to believe that it should be more special, right? Just like Zelda's 40th, just like Pokemon's 30th. There's something more special about this. It's not the 41st, not the 35th. It's the 40th. It's a big one. So there's some things that I've thought about. I wrote down here potentially happening, right? Obviously, the Mario movie trailer, we could get another one. We could. I don't want to see it. You guys already know that. I don't want to see anymore. I'm just waiting for tickets to go on sale. If they'll pre-sell the popcorn thing, I'm going to get that. I've never bought one before. But I always told Michaela, I said, look, because she's asked it with other movies we've went to. I'm like, no, I don't have any interest in that, babe. We're not sitting at home eating popcorn. Like, I'm not eating popcorn and playing video games. Ain't no way in hell I'm gonna eat popcorn and touch a controller. You know, that's the big no-no. And anytime Michaela is eating something and she goes touch the controller, I go, what do you think you're doing? You gotta go wash those hands first.
I
Just get her own
picture.
controller.
I picture. I don't know why I picture with Stash. If anyone's ever seen the movie Pootie Tang, the belt just like whipping the hand with the belt. If anyone's seen that movie, anyone?
I have when it came out. I do remember that.
Dude.
That's an oldie. That's a very old reference. So credit to you on that. Yeah. So again, I did mention though that I would get a movie theater bucket if it's for a Nintendo movie, like for Mario, for Zelda, obviously. I'll totally buy that because you're buying Nintendo merch, buying like cool Nintendo stuff. So if that goes up for pre-sale, I'm in on that. But I do not want to watch the trailer. Mario Sunshine could be added to GameCube NSO. Now look, I really think you put Mario Sunshine on NSO in the summer. It's a beautiful summer game. It's summer vibes. It's not just in the title, but it's in the entire environment. It's beach theme. There's water everywhere. You're collecting shines. It should shine in the summer, right? I remember when I pre-ordered at Toys R Us. You remember what it came with? Like, it's literally in my senior picture that I've shown you guys before. Came with a beautiful Super Mario Sunshine beach towel. It's summer theme, man. So yeah, you could do it now, but honestly, look at what we're getting. Next week on Mario Day, we're getting Mario Tennis, Mario Clash for Virtual Boy, and we're getting Mario vs. DK for GBA. Do we really need Mario Sunshine right now as well? Or can you wait till summer, if you're Nintendo, release it then when it makes most sense? Release that in summer, release Wave Race. Okay? There's your summer GameCube titles. Easy money. Makes total sense. So I think maybe you pump the brakes, hopefully, on that. You could talk about sports, like maybe we get Mario Baseball on GameCube NSO. But again, we're getting Mario Tennis on Virtual Boy. Do we need a second sports title? How the Bucks doing?
Dude, ESPN's why does it autoplay with audio on ESPN?
I hate that. Dude, I know.
So
I hate
stupid.
that. I know. So Mario Baseball, yeah, that's a possibility. Obviously, I don't think we're getting Mario Tennis on GameCube NSO until Mario Tennis on Switch 2 has had several years to sell. Mario Kart World DLC, that's Mario. But again, once you release that DLC, then you set a tone and then you set expectations. So if you want the tone and expectations to be the game's going to get a significant update every year, you have to wait till June. Otherwise, everyone will hold you to that time frame. I think 1 year makes sense. So I think that would be perfect for a June Direct. So Mario Kart DLC, would I like to see it? Yes, but again, doesn't seem very realistic. Then you got to look at Mario Maker. Do we get a Switch 2 edition with mouse Joy-Con controls? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you have the different game styles you can choose, didn't we have slots for more coming? And they were never filled in? What are we doing there? To me, that's very odd for Nintendo to leave slots open. So maybe there was something planned all along, a Switch 2 edition. Maybe they say, you know what? We waited to add this to the game because we knew that the best way to make a 3D Mario game, a Mario 64 and Mario Maker game, was with mouse Joy-Con controls. Because you need a mouse to do this. You need mouse control. Honestly, to me, that makes a ton of sense.
Yep.
So maybe you get that. Obviously, you could go Mario Maker 3. That's an option. But if they want to revisit 2 and give us 3D, that would be really cool. And also, it is the 30th anniversary of Mario 64. This would be a really good reason to give us the ability to make custom 3D Mario games. And I will say this, and it's probably a little taboo, but come on, bro. They've been doing this on PC for years. They have a PC Mario 64 maker. And it's cool. So, again, you should be able to get the best experience from a Nintendo game on a Nintendo platform. I've said this a million times. People shouldn't have to or feel like they can play a better version of Mario 64 on PC. You know, like if there's a 4K 60 version of Mario 64, you should be able to play that on Switch too. And there is a version of it. But you should be able to play that legally and buy it from Nintendo on Switch too. So again, here's an opportunity to do something cool and give us Mario 64 in there. Obviously, Mario Wonder. We already know we're getting the Switch 2 edition on the 26th. They probably make mention of it. Then there's Yoshi's Mysterious Book. You know, does Nintendo want to count Yoshi as Mario? Is Mario in the game? And we don't know it. Could very well be. Then that would certainly count for Mario Day. And also, that is a spring 2026 release date. When are we getting that? Mario Day? Are we getting it before the movie? Or are we getting it after the movie? Again, you know, these are all things that Nintendo has a roadmap for and that they're going to have to give some answers on. Those are all the things that I can think of outside of things like merch, you know, at the stores. Chat mentioned they bought a Mario Galaxy shirt at Walmart. I don't want to see how it looks, to be honest with you. I don't have a Mario Galaxy shirt. I love Galaxy. If it's like one of those $8 shirts, count me in. At the very least, I'll wear it to bed and support Mario. If it's cool, I'll wear it out. I'll wear it to the pod. I'm saying. So, look, guys, there's a lot of options here, right? We could get, you know, an 8K release of the 1993 Super Mario Brothers movie in 8K. You guys know I got the 4K one. Yeah. Well, I mean, are there any other games that you guys could realistically see? Like, do you think they're going to add more to the NSO? They already announced. They pre-announced 3 games, which I don't know about you guys, but when they pre-announced it, that kind of got me excited. Like, why are you pre-announcing this? You got more to talk about on Mario Day? You couldn't have said, hey, it's Mario Day. And guess what? We got 3 games for you today. They didn't. They're like, hey, these games are coming on Mario Day. It's like, okay, well, you got more to talk about then, maybe. Otherwise, why would you tell us early? You'd queue this up. You'd schedule that tweet for a week out. So, what do you think? You guys think there's a chance we could see more? It's the 40th. Based on how they're celebrating it. Even though it's the 41st.
I mean, it's possible. It is possible. The thing is that, like, and I've said this on the show for a while, like, people come up with these rules based off of past moves that Nintendo makes, but there's no rules with Nintendo, and they're certainly the king of curveballs compared to Microsoft and PlayStation. You know, they don't follow any specific rule set. So yeah, like Mario Day has been reserved for mostly like merch and smaller announcements, but that doesn't mean that, you know, on a big one like the 40th, we wouldn't get something medium substantial that's unlike anything we've had before. Who knows? I'm not gonna bet on it, but
no,
it's certainly possible. Now, as far as like things that we could see, I mean, one of my big predictions last year for Mario's anniversary was Mario Maker 3, and I love that you brought that up, Stash, because that does feel like something that, like, if they're going to announce on an anniversary, it kind of works and makes sense. Whether it's Switch 2 edition with added features or a Mario Maker 3, I think there's a lot of really cool possibilities here. 3 that come immediately to mind, obviously, mouse controls. You know, it fixes the big issue with Mario Maker 2.
Yep.
That made it objectively worse in the design area because before you had the touchpad with the Wii U. That fixes that. Second, we now have video cam on the Switch 2. So think about what that could mean for maybe even, and maybe this is crazy, but think about what that could mean for like maybe designing levels together or watching a friend play a level that you designed, seeing their reaction. You're both on face with the game chat. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
There's a way that they could incorporate that into Mario Maker that I think would be really fun. The other thing, and this is a big one, and think about how awesome this would be in a Mario Maker. It almost feels like it was made for this game. Wonder Flowers. or the Wonder Seeds, not the seeds, the flowers that do all
Yeah.
the crazy, weird, random effects. Think about carefully hiding or placing those in a designed level, that's already wacky and ridiculous. There's just a lot they could do with this. Again, whether it's an enhanced one with like extra content or a new entry, I think that makes a lot of sense. But if you want to know what I really want on Mario Day, I'll show you right now. The brand new officially leaked.
Wait, this was the leak?
Nate
This was
covered
the AI leak?
No, this is the real leak that Nate covered
Okay.
on his channel today.
Yeah.
Nate broke the news first, so
We should ask
Project
Matt
Sora.
Toledo if this is legit or not.
The Project
I
Sora
actually-
Mario.
it's so dumb. I actually what's funny about it is, I mean, it's obviously fake. You could tell, just like at a quick look, you could tell. But the concept of it, I actually love. Of like, at least as a superpower, Mario just gets completely jacked and like yoked out. Like that's so cool. It's like Hulk powers and stuff. But no, I think it's going to be a lot of merch. I think it's going to be movie promotion, and I think there's always potential for a big surprise. I think Mario 40, would make a lot of sense to bring back Mario 35. If you guys remember that awesome competitive NSO game. Unfortunately, it was a timed event. Bring that back. Maybe do it with Super Mario World. Update it, maybe do it with Mario 2. I don't know. It lends itself, the way it's designed lends itself to Mario, Super Mario Brothers really well, but I don't know. I feel like I could see that coming back. That would make sense and it's available and you could play it today on NSO. I don't know. Prime, it looked like you wanted to say something a little bit earlier, but
I don't think anything's really going to happen besides potentially the day before, day after a Mario movie direct to show the final trailer.
Sure.
But all I expect. Everything else will just be merch and or icons. Like I know we talk about, oh, well, it's the 40th. Yeah, last September, and we got the event for the 40th in September. I don't think there's anything else coming for the 40th. That doesn't, by the way, mean, guys, I don't think a 3D Mario is possible this year. I just don't think it has anything to do with the 40th anniversary. So then it has nothing to do with Mario 10 Day. Because if we do, that game's coming out way later this year when they're already going to be talking about Zelda's anniversary this summer and onward. So I just kind of feel like, I know, Gamer talked about how, past expectations shouldn't set the current one in terms of Nintendo just doing whatever the hell they feel like. And that's true. Nintendo can do whatever the hell they feel like. I just, by the way, I want to be wrong. Just like I want 3D Mario this year. I want to be wrong about Mario for 2028. I do not want to be correct. I'm fine being wrong about things that I don't actually want to happen the way that I'm thinking it's going to happen. I want Mario 10 Day to be like this big blowout that has 3D Mario and the Mario movie final trailer. And, they throw in, they do a Mario Presents situation and they throw in some other stuff. Maybe they have a spin-off, series starring Toad or something, for like a TV show or something. Like I would love for all of that. It's just Nintendo has never really treated Mario Day as any other, as a special day other than, hey, we could do some new merch and have some sales on games and stuff. Nintendo themselves has never really taken Mario Day that seriously. Us fans sometimes hype it up more than like we act. Sometimes fans act like it's a Pokemon Presents that we get every year on Pokemon Day. It's like, no, Pokemon Day has created the tradition of having a Presents every year. Mario Day has created the tradition of pretty much having nothing worth talking about. I mean, look, we haven't even brought up the one thing we know is definitive. Go to GameStop that day dressed as Mario. Get $5 to spend on a game. That's a thing happening.
Can
I
I just
didn't know
go
that.
in there and like I normally look, you think, and get it with the mustache?
Yeah, I think if you just put on like the Mario hat, you just instantly, oh yeah, he's Mario. You're good to go. Like I don't think they're going to be that strict about it. It would be interesting if they were being that strict. No, you got to be fully fully cosplayed out. Like, come on, for $5? For $5?
I'll go grab my overalls.
Yeah, right. For $5, that's what you're gonna make me do. Come on.
I'll grab my Halloween costume I've been using for the last 20 years.
I was gonna say, I'd spend more on the costume than the $5 you save.
Exactly.
Eric, I want you to go to GameStop dressed as Toad and see if they give you the discount. If they don't, I want you to throw.
Yeah,
a fit.
be like, what do you mean? This totally counts.
Yeah. Slightly unrelated, but I think it was like for one of your reviews, Stash, that you did recently. But I saw a pic of you on Twitter with a cowboy hat on, and I was like,
"Oh, dude,
put this guy in a Western movie." Like,
dude,
this is like the return of Sam Elliott, or like I was just like, holy
dude,
cow.
that's great.
The Tombstone reboot starring Thunderstash Gaming.
Yes.
Actually, go back and watch that review because it's my all-time favorite Thunderstash review. He does the whole review in character with a Southern accent. It's badass.
Like I got a quick glimpse of it, and I was like, holy cow!
Which game is that for?
Legit.
This was for Outlaws Remastered. It's a LucasArts first-person shooter that Night Dive Studios remastered, which you guys know. Night Dive absolutely crushes it with all of the 90s first-person shooter remakes. Yeah, that was a fun one. Thanks, man. I'm glad you liked that. And by the way, I have a custom Tombstone movie poster up in the house. That is super cool. I should show it sometime, but huge fan, of course, of Tombstone. And funny story, Michaela's grandparents went to high school with Sam Elliott, and they're friends with Sam Elliott.
That's cool.
I was like, no shit, really? I was like, I love Sam Elliott. Cool. That's awesome, yeah. Because when I met them, they're like, your mustache reminds me of Sam's. I'm like, who's Sam? You know, Michaela's like, oh, they know Sam Elliott. I'm like, no,
Sam.
What?
You just casually mentioned that.
Yeah, I know. Like that's so cool. I'd love to meet him. Yeah, very cool. Prime, I know you're still talking, right?
I don't really have anything. I expect nothing. Like,
well,
it's funny. I was coming up with the topics earlier today, and it was, you guys were like, "Well, we can talk about Mario Day." I'm like,
look, we're already getting 3 Mario games on Mario Day.
Well,
that's significant.
Yeah, the NSO thing that was announced. Yeah. But it's like, I just don't care.
So you don't think they'd lean into anything with the movie? You don't think Nintendo's like, man, this is such a good time to capitalize on Mario Day this year because, not only is it our 40th, but we got the movie coming out April.
I said there could be a Mario movie direct. I already said that. There's going to be another one. There's one literally rumored for next week.
Yeah, but you'd think they would want to really capitalize again on all the marketing dollars that are already being allocated to the movie so that their video game sales, the Switch 2 sales could ride that wave. You'd think
well, Mario do more on sale or something. They do game sales every time. What are we talking about? They're not releasing a new game next week besides the old NSO games. So what are we talking about?
More announcements?
Even if they reveal like 3D Mario, that doesn't do anything for 3D Mario. It's not coming out till way later this year if it comes out at all. So like it'll be so far removed from the movie, it's not even going to matter. So I just don't. I literally outside of game discounts, and again they do this every Mario Day. They discount all the Mario games. They do it every time. Like there's going to be a Mario movie direct, and that will be it for anything that's actually exciting. Besides game sales, I'm not saying game sales aren't exciting, guys. Like they dropped Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 down to like $50. That's sick.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This is what I'm saying. You can't go on you can't count on the patterns. There's no rules. For all we know, one of the big things this year is there is no Mario sales.
Sure, one of the big things this year could be they just don't celebrate Mario Day at all. What's your point?
That you just made it.
You just made it.
To be fair, we know you did one thing. On Mario Day, you can. This is from Nintendo official. You can go to the stores and meet Mario.
Where?
At the Nintendo stores.
Yeah.
Oh,
they already announced that. You can go on Mario Day and meet Mario. Like this is the kind of things they do for Mario Day. They don't do anything big. The Mario movie direct will be considered the big thing.
I don't think you're wrong. I'm just saying, like, you never know with Nintendo. That's all. That's my point.
They're pretty consistent on this. Just like they're consistent that
Sure,
the Zelda anniversary won't be celebrated until June or later. People say, "Oh, but it's the 40th." I'm like, and
Well, tell that to everyone who says making videos over the last month and a half saying that Nintendo forgot about Zelda.
yeah, I have. Actually, I've been telling them that you guys know they didn't do that for the 20th, the 25th, the 30th, the 35th. Why do you think the 40th was going to be any different? They're still celebrating Mario, and they have a Mario movie coming. They're not going to talk about Zelda right now. Like, they just don't do that ever because Mario anniversary overlaps and Pokemon's anniversaries at the same time. They always do Zelda later to get it away from the Mario and Pokemon anniversaries. Like there was no reason to believe it other than just wanting it to happen. And I get, guys, that, like, for some people, they don't even care if they have any announcements. They just want Nintendo to put out a tweet recognizing that it's Zelda's 40th. But they don't do that either.
For who? And then what?
But what's the point? Why not wait till they're willing to actually talk about the anniversary, which will be June or later? So there are some things that have been like consistent every time. You should expect some sort of Nintendo event, usually a general direct every September. That's the 1 month they're pretty consistent on every year because it leads into the holiday season. You should expect Mario Day to be pretty much nothing except for years they have movies. They might have a Mario movie direct around it because they did it the day before Mario Day for the last Mario movie. So sure, you can maybe think that's going to happen. And besides that, Zelda anniversary is always later, and they'll always talk about the Mario anniversary every September, every 5 years. But boom, like they're very consistent on this. Everything else, they're not consistent on shit. They could drop a random Nintendo Treehouse next week for Tamagotchi Life. Like they're random with everything else. But those things, it's been consistent every time, and until they break the pattern, there's no reason to think they'll break the pattern. Like they broke the pattern of having a general direct every June. So now you can't go into June necessarily expecting a general direct. They've broken the pattern of actually, there never really was a consistent pattern. It was only like 4 Februaries of the last 10 years that we even had a general direct in February. So that's never even been a consistent pattern. It's just one of those things that, like, the 3 things I can count on with Nintendo is some sort of Nintendo event, usually a general direct every September. They're going to celebrate every 5 years Mario's anniversary in September. They're going to do merchandise on Mario Day and not a whole lot of else unless it's a year of Mario movies coming out because the Mario movies come out earlier in the year. So they'll have a trailer drop around that time. And Zelda anniversary every 5 years will be talked about in June or later. Like, it's never changed. And I know Nintendo can do whatever the fuck they want. I want them to reveal 3D Mario next week. That's what I want to happen. I wanted them to reveal 3D Mario last month. Oh, I wanted them to reveal it back in April of last year.
I don't think that they'd reveal 3D Mario on before the
okay. So if they're not going to reveal 3D Mario, then there's nothing else I want to see from Mario.
Watch this be like the big.
Well, you speak for yourself there, then.
That's fine. What do you want to see?
Announce that everything I just listed.
Well, yeah, you talked about things like 4K ROMs coming. They're not doing that.
I briefly talked about that. That was part. That was part of a different answer.
I know, but
Mario
a lot of
Maker
the things you talked about, like Mario Maker, they're not announcing Mario. They're not announcing a brand new game next year or next week. Sorry, next week. They're not announcing a brand new game. Maybe Mario Maker 2
that
Switch
would be
2
something
edition.
I'd be excited about.
Okay, they can do Mario Maker 2 Switch 2 edition. Who cares? The first one didn't sell that well last time. I know that you care, Stash.
The sales of it doesn't change how much fun I had with the game.
Yes, and I'm not trying to
the sales
argue
of the game don't dictate that.
I'm not trying to argue that you guys can't
but
be.
You mentioned it didn't even sell that well. There should be a good reason to release it then.
Re-releasing something that didn't sell well when it released on the most popular platform Nintendo's ever had is not suddenly going to sell well now. Like, it's not going to change anything. It might make you happy. Yes, it'll make you happy, Stash.
Not me. I don't make the levels. I play them. I really don't. I want better tools for the people making the levels, so I can play more cool levels.
My generalized point is there's nothing they're going to announce next week that I'm going to give 2 fucks about.
You don't like baseball?
They're not announcing baseball next week. There will not be a new game announcement next week.
That's not a new game. GameCube.
Bringing an old game back. I don't care about old games, Stash. I don't replay
sports titles.
I don't really play games, Stash.
You don't replay sports titles?
I don't replay games, Sash.
You said you don't replay games, like
Yes.
adventures, single player games. So
Why would?
so you don't play Call of Duty twice. You don't play Madden twice. You don't
Sash,
play NCAA twice.
Sash, let me ask you something quick.
Why don't you just give the answer to that?
When's the last time you think I booted
Why
up Mario
don't
Baseball?
you just give the answer to that? Because we know what it
What do you mean?
is.
You're talking about
And the
multiplayer
answer is
games?
yes. Yes, and
Sash.
baseball is multiplayer, homie.
Hey, homie, baseball's an old game. If they bring it back, I'm not going to play it. I already played my fill of it when I was younger. I don't need to play Mario Baseball again. They have to bring me a new one. Am I still playing Mario? Am I still playing Super Rush? Am I still playing Aces? No. I stopped playing Aces like 5 years ago.
I don't know. But sports titles are different.
The sports titles aren't that different. I play them in the time period they come out, then I don't play them anymore.
Multiplayer games are different. Are they
not
not?
For me. They're not different to me, Stash.
So you and Eric have only played one game of NCAA?
We haven't even played NCAA.
Not this one.
But you did last year, right?
We played
you played it on the podcast a lot.
We played one franchise of it. Yeah, one season. And then we didn't play it again.
Played more than one game. That's my point.
Brutal.
It's a franchise. You play the season, Stash, and then we never played again.
I'm
Ever.
loving
We never
this.
booted it up again. You played one
I mean,
season.
this is
We don't get this
interesting.
I love
often.
this
now
back
on
and
the show.
forth.
Yeah.
So no, and that's not replaying games. You're playing a new team every time. Once we're through the season, we're done. We don't play anymore. Madden. I'm not playing the old Madden, and this current Madden, I'm not going to play when the new Madden comes out.
Is it new?
When the new Madden comes out, yeah, it's new.
But is it new?
Yes.
Can we define new? I mean,
It's a
it's the
new
same
release
game every year, right? Everyone knows that.
If it was the same game
if you
every
put
year,
a poll on the internet, everyone would say it's the same game with updated roster.
All right. You want to insult the games I like to play, Stash? That's fine. You insult the games.
No, that's facts.
It's not facts, but I'm not going to sit here and argue with you because it's a game series you don't even play.
Hey,
So
2K is the same way. It's facts.
Not worried about it. Not worried about it.
I have Madden 93 on the shelf.
That's fine.
I've played plenty of Madden over the years. I've played it for money, and I've won.
Sure.
Hey, I know it might be maddening for you to hear that, but it's the truth.
It's fine.
Guys, I hate to break up this heated argument, but it's getting late and I probably got to hop off. But thank you guys so much for having me on. It was amazing chatting with you guys. And like I said, awesome chatting with you, Hoops, about Pokemon. I've been watching the channel since like 2018, 2019, so it's awesome to chat with you. So, yeah,
Nish,
absolutely.
Nish, it's okay. You could tell them they made you feel uncomfortable. That's okay.
No. Last one of the first times I was on the show, there was like a heated argument with Nate and Jake Randall. That was fun. That was fun. I was just here like, oh, this is great. I live for this. It was fun. But yeah, my presence always sparks something, I guess. But yeah, it was a fun time. Thank you guys so much for having me. And yeah, anyone watching, if you guys like Xenoblade, JRPGs, and Nintendo, subscribe to Nishquick Pops. I'll be streaming Xenoblade X eventually in 60 FPS. And yeah, thank you guys for having me. I'll see y'all. Good night.
Thanks, man.
See you soon,
Bye.
bud.
Later.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you have a good night, dude.
Yeah, later.
And then this dead silence. No one wants to talk. No.
We need to get a soundboard on this podcast. That way we could do. That would have been perfect for crickets.
Oh, I don't have crickets on my soundboard anymore. I used to. I got. No, I don't even. Dude, I don't have anything good on my soundboard right now for this. I got to start adding some more stuff for the podcast.
Way to go! I provided you 3 different.
It's not providing me. It's me getting the motivation to do it and finding the time to do it. Is one thing too.
But,
anyways,
yeah. My 2 cents. Hopefully, I mean, like you guys said, I'm sure we'll see a Mario movie trailer. Hey, you know what would be awesome at the end of it? They announced the general direct for that Thursday, so why not? I highly doubt it, but why not?
That would be the best Mario Day gift, is announcing a general direct coming. That would be like the best.
One thing that
Happy
I
Mario.
wanted,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, absolutely. One thing I wanted to mention as a follow up to this whole debate is Stash brought up the fact that the Yoshi game, it's slated for spring 2026, but we don't know the date. So like we're basically to spring. So I feel like actually it is decently likely actually that they could use Mario Day to announce the release date of that, especially because the movie also has Yoshi in it. I think that is very possible. And if not, I could see a direct possibly coming soon where they announce the date, because that game does not strike me as a game that they shadow drop the release date of, because it's like a B to C tier kind of game, but it's also Mario. So they don't want to treat it like a B to C tier kind of game. Like they want to get some eyeballs on it when they announce the release date. And so like a Mario Day direct or a general direct would be the way to do that, obviously.
Totally agree.
When you say that it's like a BC tier level game, it makes me really sad, because those games are I lean towards C tier. I think B is being too kind, to be honest. But the Yoshi games consistently have S tier art styles.
Yes.
And I wish the gameplay matched how damn good this game looks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it looks unbelievable.
Yeah, I played Woolly World on the Wii U, and I really enjoyed it. It wasn't like the game that blew me away and left me with like memories I'll never forget. But what I do remember is it was pleasant as heck to play through, and it was beautiful, like you said. And this one also has that exact same kind of flair, and I just love the vibe of it, like the mysterious book. Like I love a good mystery. So I think that'll be one they definitely, like I said, they don't want to just drop the release date on Twitter and then never say anything about it again. Like they're going to want that to happen when they've got eyeballs on the screens, which is either a direct or Mario Day or something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Cool. All right. Is that the end of that topic?
I think so, yeah.
I think so.
All right. I don't really have anything much for a bonus topic. I was kind of glancing around to come up with ideas, and I couldn't really come up with much. It's actually been a struggle lately to come up with anything to talk on videos, because there just hasn't been a lot of news happening besides like the literal indie world. And then obviously Pokopia coming out. And I'm not playing Pokopia, so I don't really have a lot to talk about with it, other than, what do you guys think of the fact that Pokopia is tied for the highest rated Pokemon game of all time?
I think this game is going to, based on everything I'm seeing, especially the review scores, I think this game is it's going to be shades of Animal Crossing in 2020. I honestly feel that way, because like it has everything going for it from a review standpoint. And it has everything going for it from just a premise concept of what the game is standpoint, because it's Pokemon, it's Animal Crossing, it's Minecraft. Those are like, not only do they fit well together, but they're three things with like such broad appeal. And it also like, it's kind of crazy, but it appeals to the most casual player and Pokemon fan ever, but it's also going to appeal to hardcore people. Because me as a hardcore person, when the game was announced, I was like, oh, cool, this actually looks good. And I was like, I said that I felt that, I should say, in a surprised way, because I was like, it's a spin-off game, so it's not usually going to get the attention of like a main series game, obviously. But it was kind of getting that kind of feel, and like it had that kind of more of that appeal. And now we're finding out, now that the game's coming out, that there is some legit actual stuff in this game. Like it was shown off that we're getting a new Rotom form, but that stereo rotom, it has a different type to the other rotoms, because I guess their types are shown off in the game, which pretty much confirms that there's going to be a new rotom form that is very likely going to be able to be used in the main games, because they're not going to give a rotom a new type and not have that carry over to the main games, because like types, as far as I can tell, don't even apply here really. So they're doing stuff that actually like has weight, carries weight within the main series games, which is huge. But then on the flip side, this gameplay style just is so broadly appealing that it's going to pull in the most casualist of players. Like my wife, for instance, she knows about 10 Pokemon by heart. And I was telling her about this game and I showed her some screenshots and she was like, oh yeah, I would like to play this. And she's not even like a gamer either. So she's like as casual as you could hope for. And like when I'm seeing all this, I'm like, I feel like we're about to have a snowball on our hands. Like this is going to just blast off. It's going to create an avalanche. And especially once people get their hands on it, start showing stuff on social media, sharing with their friends, I think I think it'll do numbers. Like it's kind of tricky because the Switch 2 doesn't like have a giant install base at the moment, but I feel like if this were the Switch, I would not be surprised if this sold 10 million copies. So that's kind of where I'm at on it. I think it's going to be really, really special.
Yeah, I agree. The day the very first trailer dropped for this game, in that presentation we did our episode, I was like, this game's going to print money. And that's without knowing how remarkably constructed this game was, how well it was going to review, what team was making it. All those things came to pass late in this kind of, I don't even know if you'd say hype cycle, because people seem pretty upset about the price point, the fact that it's a Switch 2 exclusive. A lot of people complaining it's not going to be worth the money, and that it doesn't look like a big game, only to find out that the game's massive, feature-rich, dense. It was made by the team that made Dragon Quest Builders 2, which is a fantastic game. So this game has a really good story behind it and the IP behind it on the new hot Nintendo hardware. This thing's gonna make some money. I guarantee it. And I think they've already announced some free updates. Yeah, am I correct? Like some free Pokemon that will be joining at certain times of the month and stuff. So yeah, they're doing all the right things. If they could continue to have like a cool like roadmap of events and content more than like Animal Crossing did. Fantasy Life does it all the time. There's like new content that's been coming regularly. So sorry, I've been a little under the weather this morning. My sinuses are getting like really bad right now, but yeah, I'm excited to check it out tonight. I'll play a little before bed.
Yeah, it's a game that I was like torn on whether I was going to play or not. Because like I said, it's a side game. I was like, do I really have time for that? But it just is checking all the boxes. And you mentioned the storyline. Like a story is the last thing I really expected from a game like this. But if anyone out there has not noticed this already, the whole premise of the game is that we are in a post-apocalyptic version of the Pokemon world where humans have been wiped out and people or Pokemon are rebuilding the world, basically. Like that is like what is implied in even just what we've seen in the trailers and the screenshots that are now coming out, which is like a crazy idea, like a post-apocalyptic Pokemon game. Like that's wild. And then you have all the other stuff that we've talked about. It's just like got appeal on top of appeal on top of appeal. It's crazy. Like I think it's gonna be really, really special. And some people have even said like this is like an early, I don't know, I will reserve my judgment on this because I don't like to reach when it comes to this stuff, but people are saying that it could be an early game of the year contender, which is like mind-blowing to even like be able to say that with like half a straight face and say that. That's crazy. So
okay. Eric, any thoughts on Pokopia?
What did I tell you earlier? It's funny that the most un-Pokemon game has the highest Pokemon rating ever.
Yeah.
Tied now, tied.
Oh, sorry, tied.
It dropped to 88.
Sorry.
What's it, Prime? What's it tied with?
Black and white.
Black and white. Hell yeah. Yeah. You know, I don't know if this matters to Game Freak or the Pokemon Company, but it does. Like, obviously, we all have very good early impressions of Winds and Waves. This does make me hope that this kind of lights a fire under their butt. Like, oh, like a third party made a Pokemon game that's reviewed higher than any of our modern games. Huh.
Well, I think it also
sells better too.
I think
Right.
I think that can absolutely happen. But the other thing I kind of thought of was like the past several years, it's been really the vision has been murky in terms of like what do people want? Like what can we do to like basically make something super impressive? And they've had some good hits, like Legends Arceus was really good. But now this is just like got everybody on board. And my hope is that now they've got like a clear winner here. They can like use this, even if it's a side game, they can use it and be like, okay, we've got something that we can now like use as like a clear vision for what to do next. And hopefully we just see more types of games like this. I feel like at the very least, assuming this sells well, which it obviously will, I think this could turn into a whole series of its own. But yeah, I just hope that it kind of sets a new precedent, like you were saying.
Okay. Stash, I know you're not going to play the game, right? Because you don't usually play these kind of games that, even though there's an end to it, there's no definitive end. Like you can just keep playing forever. But do you have any thoughts on the fact that it's like such a high rated game in the series?
Yeah, I'm happy for it. When this game was first announced, I think we all unanimously said here on the podcast that regardless of if we think this game is for us right now, based on what we've seen, it looks like it's going to print money, regardless. Now, the fact that it's being backed up by the highest reviewed Pokemon game of all time is really impressive. Because again, this is a new direction. We could call it a spin-off. I don't know if we call it that. It's the Pokemon IP doing something different. That's completely different from the genres that they've done business in. So this is cool. I'm happy for the cozy community and all the folks waiting for Animal Crossing for a new one. This looks great. I did show Michaela the treehouse, see if she'd be interested in it. I don't know if the treehouse sold her, but she was also working at the same time. So we'll see. It'd be interesting if she played it, because that would at least allow me to get a better look at it. But yeah, I'm not planning to play it. I don't have room even to add in really much of any games with the schedule, with the pipeline. It's quite massive going into, a few months from now. The pipeline's full. However, I wish it very well, and I hope it does well sales wise, because it's like, man, we already thought it was going to print money, and now it's got that nice, was it 88 right now? It was at a 90, and it went to 89. I don't know if it's 89 or 88 right now, but either way, impressive stuff.
All right. My thoughts are mostly, I think this game's gonna do really well. I wasn't so sure at like the first trailer, but then after the previews happened and people that even had their skepticisms of it after the reveal went into that preview, played it, and came out glowing about the game. And then obviously today, lots of people playing copies that you can get in other countries and stuff like that right now. lots of live streams on it. Everyone just still glowing about it. And this is now getting away from the reviewers. This is just people playing it. It definitely feels like they've probably hit the nail on the head of that appeal to the casual audience. And when I say casual audience, I guess I mean cozy audience, not casual audience. Cozy audience. They play games pretty hardcore, so they're not casual about the stuff they play. They play a lot. They put a lot of hours in. So I think it's going to do bonkers. I don't know if Animal Crossing like numbers are possible for it, especially this early in the console's life. But it also could be literally a system seller that pushes the console even more. The big question is, the reason I bring up Animal Crossing is it's $70. That's a steep ask for these kind of games usually. So can they do that and garner a massive audience, or does it just sell, a handful of millions, 5-10 million, which is still a lot, especially for a spinoff, but not nearly the heights that people think this could maybe get to. But I look, the reviews are crazy high. And people seem to love the hell out of it. It has a whole multiplayer aspect that I haven't really even seen people mess with yet today. So I honestly, and then there was even like a developer video. I watched it yesterday on stream. Dude, there's some crazy things you can do in this game they never showed off. Like, this game has infinite replayability. It's just, you can build roller coasters in the game. That's insane. And even more stuff than that. Hidden rooms and trapdoors and all. Dude, this game is going to be getting played for, the next 4 or 5 years. I suspect there's going to be content updates getting dropped. This is I think the biggest development team by, what is it, Omega Force?
Yep.
Biggest development team they've ever had on a game. Obviously, they're the guys behind the Builders games, and the Builders games reviewed very, very well and performed pretty well with sales. But this looks like next level. And they did talk about how Game Freak did help with the development of the game. So Game Freak was involved in some way. Yeah. But yeah, this game has that Animal Crossing New Horizons potential.
Yeah.
Now,
and keep in mind though, like Animal Crossing benefited greatly from obviously what was going on. Yeah, with the shutdown. We don't have an anomaly like that right now. So this game is not going to get that everyone's home with nothing to do boost. But I do think that this game crosses 10 million. I feel like it'll hit 10 million.
I feel like it's going to be evergreen for at least the first year.
Yeah.
And then content updates will determine if it stays evergreen. Word of mouth, obviously word of mouth right now is excellent on it. That's only going to get even more crazy as the months go on. And if they add more content and do DLC and other stuff, I just think that this game is perfectly set up to do really, really well. And it was very smart because this feels like a game they probably could have put on Switch 1. Maybe the draw distance wouldn't be as large. Maybe it's 30 FPS, but they probably could have put it on Switch 1. I think it was very smart to make the decision, at least from Nintendo's side, to put it as a Switch 2 exclusive because you have to buy their system to play it. It just is what it is. And that's another thing is like what could hold it back is, okay, well, will someone who hasn't bought a Switch 2 yet buy it specifically just to play this game? Well, we saw with Animal Crossing that answer was yes. But that was also, as we said, a unique situation where you're stuck at home. That's not happening this time. So will people go drop $450 when people are struggling with their finances to then spend $70 on this game? So now you're $520 in. And that's assuming you didn't get one of the Mario Kart ones that are still out there. Then you spent $500. Now you're $570 in plus taxes. Now you're over $600. So like, are people going to do that for this game? I think Nintendo's hoping they will because they want this game to be a system seller. They positioned it as a system seller. Nintendo doesn't always, but frequently has a game in March they hope sells well, end the fiscal year. And that's usually to help build console sales momentum heading into the next fiscal year. Because you don't want sales just to completely die after holidays. You want at least one title to keep it going. This is the title they hope keeps it going. I think it reviewing as high as it is has piqued some people's interest. And maybe weren't interested before. I think the cozy audience was always in love with it, but I think people that were on the fence are like, oh, well, maybe I will check this out. Like that, it reviewed that high. It's an 88. Like that's Resident Evil Requiem. What are we doing? How is it?
Yeah, I feel like this game I agree with you. I think the first year is going to be super evergreen. And I could see this game getting 2 big boosts. One in summer, kids are out of school.
Sure.
Looking for something that they're going to be able to play. But the second one is, and I think this is where Pokopia could actually have a second run of pushing console sales, is over the holiday season. Because the fact of the matter is, we just got Winds and Waves announced. It looks way better than a lot of people thought it would. Certainly a lot better than the last couple games. And it's coming 2027. So now Pokemon fans, who maybe have been hesitant to adopt Switch 2 have 2 huge reasons to join. And yeah, maybe not every Poke fan is interested in your cozy, more like customizer sim game like Animal Crossing, but a lot of them are here for Pokemon. Like how many people are like downloaded TCG and even Pokemon Sleep and Cafe. And so I think there's going to be an audience for it for at least a full year, but I do see there being a big bump in the summer and holiday after the initial sales bump.
I would almost wonder if they're not going to do it, but making it a bundle this holiday instead of bringing
That'd be
Mario
great. That'd be huge, dude.
Like, don't bring the Mario Kart bundle back this holiday. Get this bundle out there instead. I think that would sell a lot of units. And I want to say Mario Kart doesn't either, but Mario Kart's been in this whole time, and they're still
especially if it's themed. Imagine if it's themed too.
Yeah,
if it's themed for sure.
Pokemon is like one of the franchises that like pretty consistently does like themed consoles.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many did we get on Switch? Didn't we get like 2?
We got we got a Diamond and Pearl one, we got a Sword and Shield one, we got a Scarlet and Violet one, and we got a Let's Go one. So we got 4.
Yeah, we got 4 themed Pokemon Switches.
So
yeah,
drop a themed one this holiday, even just a themed one, let alone bundle it in. Sell it.
Do a
you sell
Poke 30th,
530 or whatever, dude. It's gonna sell. So, yeah, we'll see obviously what happens, but I got some pretty good faith that this game's gonna sell really well, despite it not being the kind of game that I'm that interested in. I am in big recognition that this game is gonna cook, and the cozy content creators are gonna cook with this game as well, just like they did with Animal Crossing. I'm so happy for them. So, this is awesome. I can't wait to see all the billions of impressions that are going to drop tomorrow from all the content creators and all the live streams that are going to be going on and all the honestly the posts on social media. Even though it's not the game for me, what makes me happy about a game like this is I have no real complaints about this game. This game is perfect for what it needs to be. And there's going to be a lot of very, very happy people on social media posting happy things from the game. And I like seeing that positivity coming out of video games because we see so much negativity out there. Now, just seeing people playing games and just posting positive stuff about it, no console war bullshit, just straight up having fun. Dude, I love that. Even if it's not me that's having that fun, I got an appreciation for games doing that for people. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked for a lot of the positivity that's going to be happening here over the next handful of months for this game. After, I guess it's out right now digitally. After this game, Nintendo has nothing else announced with a release date for Switch 2. That's exclusive. So we'll see whenever they decide to give us release date. I mean, Yoshi should be the next one, I assume, because that one's supposed to come out this spring. So that one got a great art style. We need to see more of that game, though.
That's so pretty.
Yeah, I just need to see more of it. Like, I know it's not going to be a hard game, guys. I've been playing all the Yoshi games. I know. It just, that art style really intrigues me a lot. Like, I almost want to play just to see the world. Not because I think the gameplay is fantastic. But we'll see. I got to see more of that one. Okay, cool. Well, that's really all I had for kind of a bonus topic. Just touch on Pokopia a little bit, just because it was kind of the shocker of the week to review as well as it did. I think my expectations were it would probably be in the 80s. I just didn't think it'd be this high in the 80s. I thought maybe Dragon Quest Builders range, but it went even higher. So let's get to the super chats, guys. You guys there's still time to super chat your questions in or statements for the panel. You want to ask Hoop something? He's still here. Drop your super chat and get your questions in. Classic every week. Demonic Brawler. Bring back NFL Blitz, NBA Jam, and NHL Hits.
Hell yeah.
Yes, sir.
From downtown.
And while we're at it, bring back NBA Street.
Yes.
That was great.
Yeah.
I think about, I played NBA Street Volume 2 back in the day on the GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about that pretty frequently because it was so awesome.
Me too,
So-
man. EA owns Street. They bought the rights to NBA Jam. They're sitting on Blitz. They're sitting on the rights to all the great arcade sports games we grew up with, and they do nothing with it.
It's crazy.
And to add on top of that, bring back SSX Tricky. I
Yes.
love that game.
Mm.
Yep.
Loved that game.
It's funny too. Like my story with NBA Street was I played NBA Street Volume 3 at a friend's house, and I liked it so much that I asked for it for Christmas. But I had a brain like fart basically, and I asked for NBA Street Volume 2 instead of 3, and I had never even heard. I didn't even know that there was a Volume 2. So like I kind of got it by accident, but I played it and I was like, this is the best thing ever. So
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one I played the most too.
Awesome. This goes back to the indie stuff. We got Deca Police is going to have a lot of exploring streets. You are correct, sir. Thank you, Jimzo. I don't know what this was in reference to. Maybe you guys remember that's the nail in the coffin.
NBA Jam.
Okay. I didn't know if it was a reference to other things. So I'm like, I have no clue. That could be a reference to so many things. True dude. I'm picking up Pombon and naming it after my Pomeranian that recently passed. Well, sorry for your recent loss. Guaranteed the same thing's happening with Rogers Base. His excitement, he's like, they put you in the game. His dog's in the game. So we already know what his starter is going to be and what he's going to name it.
and you know there's like a million people out there that have had that same experience, and so it's like it's so smart to do a dog starter because people are going to identify with it and get excited so easily. So
we got Wink the Man here says, do you think we'll ever get a red and blue remake in this open world engine?
No.
Mm-mm.
No, I don't.
Probably not.
That would require effort.
There is that. We just praised them for effort. Now we're saying they won't do effort for this.
I know, but listen, sometimes give an inch, take a mile. I'm not taking a mile. They gave me an inch. I'm taking
eventually, I won't speak to the engine, but I could see them eventually doing a Legends Kanto game. Like once they go through all the regions. So, but that's probably like a ways down the road.
I think if they ever remake the game, like a full from the ground up remake that's open world, it's going to be when I am very, very old. Or I'm dead. One of the two. I'm not going to say they'll never do it. These things have a way of coming back around, but in the engine you saw with Winds and Waves, I don't think that's going to happen. I would love to be wrong. I love Gen 1. So like I would love to be wrong. But and to be fair, if you pay attention, I'm wrong a lot. So if you ever want things to happen and I say it's not gonna happen, it's probably happening. Just you could almost put money down on that. Especially if me and Stash disagree. And then I'm always wrong.
All they have to do is do a Gen 1 HD 2D remake and it would print money. Like people would line up in droves for that, Pokemon fans.
Oh, it's interesting because like you have the Let's Go games, which were awesome and basically was a Gen 1 remake and put the Pokemon in the world. I don't know that it's better than that necessarily. But I don't know. It doesn't exist, so I can't get really compared. It's a dream at this point. AJ Rax, could we see Winds and Waves February 27th, 2027 for that year's Pokemon Presents? Like, see it at that Pokemon Presents? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Unless it's releasing that day, which I don't think that's a Thursday, is it?
I
They
think it's like a Saturday or something.
Let me look ahead because it's got to release on a Thursday. That's the release days.
Yeah.
It is. Oh, that's January. February. It's a Saturday, so no, won't release that day. But
my hope is that it's the March game that they want to sell, like you were talking about for next year. That's my hope.
Yeah, that could be. And then they'll absolutely have it shown on Pokemon Day. Absolutely. I mean, either way, whether it's the March game or if it is going to end up being a holiday game next year, which, my hope is March because it already looks so good. Like I don't feel like they need to wait all the way to holiday, but if they are, I mean, look, they better show some crazy stuff on Pokemon Day because that means they're taking a full 5 years to make this thing. I am totally fine with that. Just you've now impressed us. Now, next time you show it, which if it's not, my thing is if it's not until holiday next year, I don't think we even see the game again this year. That's kind of my vibes there. I think we'll have a good idea. If we don't even see it the rest of this year, I'm gonna be like, okay, well, that's not coming out till holiday next year then. Because then they'll start to do the marketing really for real after the 27th next year. Then onwards, we'll get some regular marketing. But neither here nor there, they haven't made any promises on that other than it's next year. But yeah, for sure. I don't think it's coming out before then. So yeah, we should see it on Pokemon Day.
Could be wrong. Is that PAX West?
Oh, don't even.
How crazy would that be?
Don't even get my hopes up that it's at PAX West. That would be the dream. Okay. We got Polito Dojo saying, wait, if we go to the Nintendo store on Mario Day, we get to meet Chris Pratt. I didn't say the voice of Mario. I said you get to meet Mario. Maybe it's that Mario guy that was in Saved by the Bell.
Mario Lopez.
They just invite a bunch of guys named Mario. Bring them down.
He's wearing the spandex outfit in the one episode. Doing some spins for you, taking pictures. Just saying, it's have a bunch of Marios up, but it's not the costume. It's just literally guys named Mario.
Of guys named Mario. Yeah.
Anyways, Venatus says thanks for trolling Mr. P in my stead. Let's see here, and then we had this one came in from Barrett. Dude, just stop trying to pronounce the names. You're not gonna get it right, Nate. If we get Super Mario Maker, I want a shell we can put on our Joy-Con to make it a full mouse, like an official one,
like a Koopa shell.
Ooh, good idea.
I wasn't. No, there. Because someone told me there was like an official accessory for that, but then I never found it. I found third-party ones.
I don't think there is. I've only seen third-party.
Yeah. Anyways, I mean, look, it makes sense for them to eventually release their own instead of just having third-party ones selling. But they would have to have a game that's heavily focused on mouse. And yeah, Mario Maker is one of those games that could do that.
A brand new Mario Paint.
I think what Stash said earlier was right on the money. Because if you remember, if I'm remembering correctly, Mario Maker 2 came out pretty early into the Switch's life. It was like a year or two in or something like that.
Early.
So I can totally see a scenario where like they were gonna put in more modes, but then they got to the point where they decided that they were gonna do mouse controls for the Switch 2, or like that idea came up and they're like, pause, like let's save this for later because it would be perfect. Like,
hope so.
Like, it lines up.
All right.
Prime. No. It's not all right.
That we're
Prime.
done. Show's over.
What do you want to say? No, you want to say
Show's over.
something.
The show is over.
It's not over until it's over, dude.
It's over. So thank you guys for tuning in to episode 43 of season 3 of the NintenByte Podcast. We'll go around the room, let people know what we got going on and where they can find us. And let's start with Hoops. What do you got going on? Where can they find you?
Well, you can find me here on YouTube at HoopsandHipHop or pretty much any other social media. I obviously have got a ton of content about Winds and Waves that I've got cooking. There's so many things to talk about with that game. It's all really exciting. So I will be doing a ton of stuff with that. So it's a great time to check out the channel. And I don't know if I'm going to cover Pokopia with content, but like that game looks so good that I might. So yeah, there's just a lot of good Pokemon stuff going on in general. So it's just good time to check it out.
Awesome. Then let's go on Eric.
Yeah. You can find me here, Clips channel, and then our audio podcast.
There you go. Gamebird.
Yeah, you guys know where to find me here on YouTube at Gamebird Classic or on Twitter at _Birdmaster. I'm a little behind on putting something out right now. Had a loss in the family, and that took up almost all of my extra time over the last couple weeks. And then I've been a bit under the weather, but things will be resuming. I have a bunch of videos that I've started. I just got to get them finished and wrapped up and should have a nice steady flow for the next few weeks. So stay tuned. Good stuff coming.
All right. Then Thunderstash.
So lots of reviews coming. Tomorrow, Resident Evil Requiem review for Switch 2. I have so many that are coming out. Super Bomberman Collection, Rayman 30th, Reanimal, Demon Tides, God of War, Sons of Sparta, Resident Evil 7 and 8 on Switch 2. Tales of Berseria Remastered, Scott Pilgrim EX, Mini Shoot Adventures, Planet of Lana 2. I'm working on Monster Hunter Stories 3 right now. Solitaria, Shadow Tactics, Crimson Desert, and a couple of more. So yeah, just an insane amount of games right now that I'm working on that I have to deliver for, because these were games that, were obviously they were sent to me. So lots of reviews coming, guys. All I can do is tell you that the next one is Requiem, and I'm going to take it from there.
Yeah, good luck reviewing Crimson Desert.
Yeah, I know, dude.
Jesus Christ. Don't get me wrong, I'm super hyped. Game is so massive.
Yeah.
Like, if I get that game this year, it's good. It might take up most of the rest of my year.
Right, well.
It is so huge. The only reason I'm waiting for that Switch 2 one that Kiwi Talk said is coming. Not day and date. Obviously, guys, this comes out on the 19th this month, right?
Yeah.
Yes, 2 weeks from now. So, yeah, Crimson Desert, guys, I'm really hyped for that game. Really, really hyped. Got to play it. It's awesome. I'm waiting for the Switch 2 announcement, which may be in the next direct, might not be in the next direct. Supposedly later this year. We'll see what happens. We were all kind of hinted to us that it was probably coming to Switch 2, and then Kiwi Talk just straight up said it. That he knows a bunch of developers over there. It's coming to Switch 2. So
You can tell too, based on the optimization so far for PC, how well that's going to pair with Switch 2. Like once that came out, a lot of people were like, "Oh, I wonder if this could run on Switch." It looks like it can. It's like, oh yeah, that's the plan.
yeah. I mean, the minimum PC specs were like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see how that goes on Switch 2. Then if it runs well on those minimum PC specs, then okay. Even the recommended specs are not even much higher than the minimum. Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah, they did a good job.
I think one thing to remember when people I see someone in the chat say, "No way, dude, it's coming." It's coming. They basically told us to our face that it's coming. What's really interesting about it being on Switch 2 is that what people don't understand about this game, because they see this game and all they can think about are all those other really big open world games that are made in like Unreal Engine, because they made their own engine. This is not an engine that any other company has but them. And what's really great when you build your own engine is that you can have it fully optimized for whatever the hell you're trying to put your stuff on, because you built the damn thing. So they, from the get-go, wanted this game to be on a really, really wide variety of hardware. That was literally a goal of theirs from day one. And probably part of the reason they talked about this publicly, that they think they revealed the game too soon, because it's taking forever to come out. They've had playable demos of this thing at events for 3 years. They're taking forever to get this game done and out the door, but that's in part because of not just how massive the game is, but because of how well they want this optimized on everything. And I think the biggest criticism they've gotten so far is they've pretty much only shown PC stuff so far. But they did recently promise, I think today, that they're going to be showing off the console stuff before launch. And that I know it's believing the horse's mouth, but that it runs really well on console. But gotta see. I mean, it's going to be running on Series S. That's the version that you want to pay attention to if you're a Switch 2 owner. How does it run on Steam Deck? That's what you want to see when you're a Switch 2 owner, because Steam Deck is ahead of the minimum PC specs. Don't know if you guys are aware of that. It is ahead of the minimum PC specs, so that means Switch 2 is ahead of those specs as well. So, all right, guys. I'm Nintendo Prime. I would love if that's an announcement. There's an event going on tomorrow. Isn't there a Capcom event or a Resident Evil event or something?
Capcom.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing a presentation. So see if there's anything new.
Yeah, there's a Capcom. Hold on. What are they calling it?
I'm hearing that Requiem's DLC is very deep in development, and that there's probably going to be 2 DLC pieces, but I won't mention anything because it's spoiler territory.
Yeah. And we know what the games are going to be. They announced it. It's going to be, by the way, there could obviously be a bonus game that's not in here if they want to surprise you. But the games they have announced they're featuring are Monster Hunter Stories 3. So it's a reflection. That's a big deal for Switch 2. Pragmata, big deal for Switch 2. Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection, and Street Fighter 6. Again, all of this stuff is like Switch 2. So if everything lines up for me, guys, it's at 2 p.m. Pacific tomorrow. So if you want to look forward to something I'm going to be doing, I'll probably be live reacting to this event because it's pretty much all Switch 2 games. So why the hell wouldn't I be? So that's an event. And then there's another company. There's another company revealing their a new RPG tomorrow.
Bandai Namco.
Yeah. Yeah, they teased it. Bandai Namco's revealing a new RPG tomorrow as well. Don't know if that's going to have anything to do with Switch 2. We'll obviously find out tomorrow if they announce platforms, but they did a small tease. But you don't know anything until they actually show it off and we see what's going on.
I feel like it could be a new Tales game.
I've seen Tales and Sword Art. A lot of people are hoping it's not Sword Art, and that it's Tales
I didn't
or
think
something
it's Sword
else.
Art. Well, I mean, how long ago did Arise come out? Because that was the last one.
Well, they had last year. Yeah, it was last year. Tales of Xillia remastered. And then we just got Tales of Berseria remastered last week.
But a new entry, though. I think Arise was. So, I don't know.
I think Arise. Cool. Yeah. Arise was just removed also from the eShop. It was on the eShop. It was on the eShop right next to Digimon Story, and then it disappeared like a few days ago, and you can't even find it now on Switch 2 on the eShop. I'm like, that's weird. And then that news came about a new RPG. I'm like, I wonder what's going on.
I wonder if there's a relation.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens tomorrow, guys. So it could be a really big day. I mean, it's going to be a big day just for the Capcom event alone, guys, for the news from that. But obviously, we'll see what this new RPG is. And obviously, for Nintendo fans, if it's something we should be excited for. Because, again, I'm a full belief that, we have to hit a point here where most third-party games are just expected to be on Switch 2. And I don't know that we're there yet. But, you figure the deeper into the gen, the more likely that is. Especially when you see, I know it's not open world, but you see the way that, like, Resident Evil Requiem is looking. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we've already gotten open world games like Outlaws and Shadows. I know it's Ubisoft, but we know like The Oblivion Remastered is coming, which I know looked a little rough in the first trailer, but guys, other games looked rough in their first trailers too, and that didn't look like that when they came out. So
I think Fallout 4 should give people hope.
Yeah.
When it comes to Bethesda and what they're going to be capable of.
That was without DLSS.
Mm-hmm.
They're patching that in later. So,
good point.
So it already runs and looks better than the initial trailer. And it's only going to get better. They literally admitted they're not even using DLSS. I'm like, oh, well, damn. It runs that way. I mean, I know it's an older game, guys. It shouldn't be that shocked. But it's like, oh, well, it's going to get even better. That's awesome. Maybe they can get it up to 4K with DLSS. I have no idea. Anyways, so yeah, that's what you can look forward to me covering tomorrow, guys. Probably have another live stream tomorrow night as well, especially if there's a lot of this really good news and I want to talk further about it. That would be really great. And then obviously our podcast next week, we have special guests Favlam and Nintendo Land coming on. Maybe we can ask him about Nintendo forgetting that 3D Mario exists. But then Mario 10 Day will have already happened. So
yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong about everything. And it's the biggest blowout of all time. I don't know. I want to be wrong. I always want to be wrong, guys. When I'm doom and gloom on stuff, and it's not even doom and gloom. Like, those are just my realistic expectations next week. But it feels doom and gloom because, like, I'm going to tell you why it feels doom and gloom to some people. I was talking to someone earlier today, and they're like, "Why are you so negative?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? One of the most positive Nintendo creators out there. What do you mean negative?" Well, you expect nothing. You don't expect a direct this month. You don't expect to see 3D Mario. I'm like, okay. And and it made me realize that it's just people that are on edge that only play Nintendo games. Like, if they don't play anything but Nintendo first party games and they're not excited for Pokopia, they're just and if you're not excited for Pokopia, then you're probably not excited for Tamagotchi Life next month. So then you're sitting on your hands waiting for Nintendo to announce their next big game you're interested in, because maybe it's been nothing for you since Donkey Kong last July. So I get it, and there's a lot of on edge and a lot of uneasiness in the fact that we've gotten every single type of Nintendo event but a general direct, and now we know Pokemon's not even this year. So it's like, well then, okay, Dustblood's cool, Fire Emblem cool. Is that it for the big? No, it's got to be more, right? It's got to be more. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I know everyone's on edge, and everyone's going to. By the way, no matter what they do in the next direct, whenever it is, this month, next month, June, whatever the fuck they decide doing, people are going to be mad anyways. I don't think I remember it, like the last time there was a completely 100% positive reaction to a direct. I can't remember.
My advice to that first group of people is to try and broaden your horizons. I know Nintendo makes amazing first-party software. That's why they've garnered such a loyal and lifelong fan base. But there's a lot of really great games out there. You know, you don't have to buy a Steam machine or a Steam Deck or an Xbox or a PlayStation if you don't already have one. If you have the Switch 2 and you're waiting for the next big thing, check out some of the amazing stuff coming from the indie scene in the eShop. Because no joke, year after year, indie games are some of the highest rated titles all year long. So there's a lot of there's too much to play to feel like there's nothing to play, but at the same time I do understand the hunger, because I know everyone on the panel can't wait for the next big Zelda, the next big Mario, the next Pokemon, the next big whatever. But
look, just, you guys hear me with more grapes. Look, I'm a content creator, right? So there's the content creator side of me that goes, man, my audience primarily cares about Nintendo games and we don't have anything. So it's like really hard to make content. But the gamer side of me, I have so much to play. Like I just talked about earlier, not just my back catalog. I have Resident Evil 9 right now. And there's going to be even more games coming. Crimson Desert later this month. There's just so much to play. And if you're a multi-platform gamer, I do get that. Well, I play all these games on PS5 or on PC. I don't play them on Switch 2. So Switch 2 is just collecting dust. Okay. So you're gaming on something else. Why does it matter if something collects dust for a while? I don't know how that's a problem. I've had my PC collect dust for a while when it comes to games. Like,
if you don't play indie titles on your Switch or Switch 2, you're missing out.
Yeah, a lot of indie titles are really at home on that platform. There's exclusive indie titles too. Forget about Chilling by the Fire.
Hades 2. It's only console on right now.
Well, it's on PC as well, to be fair.
I said console.
Yeah, if you're a PS5 owner, I'm so sorry you can't play Hades 2 right now. It's gonna come eventually, whenever that exclusivity ends. But yeah, indie games are excellent on Switch 2, and like a lot of games look and play better on Switch 2 than they do on Steam Deck. And So I don't know. There's just so much to play. Sometimes for people that just do it, don't broaden your horizon. There's just so much to play right now. Like you can look at the eShop charts every week. You can see it. People are buying some of these games and rising them up the charts. You're starting to see these new releases come out. So I don't know. I'm not like left wanting as a gamer because I play such a wide variety, but I get it. I understand the angst. And there's a lot of people that frankly only buy a couple of games a year. And I think for some of the people that only buy a couple of games a year because gaming's gotten expensive and they don't want to play indie games, they want to play like the big releases. I think for some of them with Nintendo right now, it's not that they're mad that there isn't a game out right now that they want to buy. So they don't even know what's coming. They don't even know what to get excited for to save their money for. And I get it. Guys, I get it. But
Fire Emblem.
Yeah, I'm stoked for Fire Emblem, but like, if you only play for like Mario, Zelda, and Pokemon, well, Pokemon's 2027, Mario and Zelda's.
But here's the thing: if you only buy Nintendo consoles for Mario, Pokemon, and Zelda, like if that's legit, like I only play Mario, Pokemon, Zelda, and I'm bummed. What do I have to play? Like you're limiting yourself to 3 titles a generation. I mean, we were lucky we got 2 Zeldas last gen. That was lucky. We only got 1 Mario. I guess we got 2 Pokemons, but those 2 are shells. So.
Even that though, that keeps you pretty occupied because if you look back, even like last couple years, you have Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, Hyrule Warriors, you have Mario Wonder, you have ZA, you have Pokopia now, and they're pretty well spaced out.
Even Bowser's
that's a good point, Hoops, but I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, Prime will be way more in touch, and maybe all of you guys will be more in touch with like the general consensus, but I feel like when people are talking about those games, they're not talking about games like Echoes of Wisdom or ZA. They're talking about the big mainline ones, like the mainline Zelda, the 3D mainline Mario. Am I right or am I wrong?
I would say as a Pokemon and a Zelda fan who wants the next Breath of the Wild, who wants Winds and Waves as much as anyone, you're missing out if you're not playing ZA. It's a lot of fun, Windows aside. And Echoes of Wisdom, I have an super interesting experience with that game because as much as it pains me to say it, I have not finished Tears of the Kingdom yet. And there's a lot of factors as to why. Part of it is because I kind of feel burnt out on the Breath of the Wild era. It just didn't pull me in as much as Breath of the Wild did because it's so similar. And I want to finish it. I really do. But then Echoes of Wisdom came out and I was like, okay, well, I want to play this obviously. So I'm going to give it a try. And I was like, when I started it, I was more compelled to finish that than I was to pick up Tears of the Kingdom just because it was so novel and different and new. It was a new game versus a iterative version of the last game. So it might look smaller scale, but there is a ton to enjoy about it. And that goes for the Pokemon spinoffs or the smaller Mario games or whatever. There's a lot there. Don't limit yourself to a couple series and then only limit yourself to the biggest games in that series on top of that. There's a ton there to love.
Yeah. And guys, there's, as Birdman said, man, expand your horizons. There's so many games you might enjoy that you don't know. All right. Well, I am going to remind you guys that you can go get our audio version everywhere that audio versions can be heard. Apple, Spotify, Google, etc. We're everywhere. It always goes up a day after our video version. If you do listen to the audio version and you're curious how you can check out the video version while it's live and understand what some of the super chats and some of the quips and the heated debate argument that Thundersash and I had, you want to see my face get beat red and I'm a dragon over here trying to breathe fire on them. You can check out that video version on any of our YouTube channels: Thundersash Gaming, Gamebird Classic, Nintendo Prime, and even the Podcast Clips channel. All of us host the show on our channel. Tune into anyone you want. And yeah, even over on X and Twitter, we stream it over there. I have it streaming on Twitch as well. if you prefer the Twitch platform. So cool, we stream there. We try to be everywhere that you guys are. I know I just got streaming enabled for TikTok, but I haven't figured out how to set that up over here yet. So then I know podcasts actually do pretty well on TikTok, so I'll try to get that sorted out eventually. But yeah, you guys are awesome. Thank you for being here, and we'll catch you same time next week.